TikTok time to rock. I don't have any cool intro music. Oh, look, people complaining that AP's late again. Look, it says right here. AP late again. Nope, AP was on time. It was actually me.
Yeah. It was actually a miraculous case where you sent me the link and I was there within a few seconds.
Yeah, normally I have to send you the link and then I type zzz into just wherever I can, email or text message, whatever it be. And then I do that like 5 times. And then I start posting the little emoji with the zzz coming out of him because he's asleep. And I start posting that like 10 times. And then like after 30 minutes, then you go on. Whereas now it was just instant.
Yeah.
No, now exactly. It's just I got back like 7:50. And so I had to jump into, had to get my coffee ready. What? Hey, AP, what's up?
Oh, yeah. What's up? How you doing?
We're going to be talking about your hero, Russell Brand.
Russell, I don't like that guy.
It's weird. I can't even tell. I can't tell if I like anything he says or his ideas or anything. I've never been able to get past the ridiculous accent, right? Like and I understand that's probably mostly, he's probably got an annoying accent to lots of people, but I don't know. I just like, there are certain people when they talk, I can't listen to this. It's too annoying. And that he's like in a completely different category of annoying accents. Like French sounds like annoying to me. But he's in his own category. He is like the king of stupid sounding accents. And I don't know what part of the UK that's from. I'm going to bloody wrap myself. So let me talk about the imperialist dogma of that. And it's like, shut up, dude.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a problem with his speech at all. I think his speech is actually interesting to listen to, the way he talks. I just think that I mean, I don't even when I said I don't like him, I was joking pretty much.
I was dead serious. But yeah, it was not him. He may be the nicest guy in the world. I have no clue. It's his accent. I judge him entirely based on his accent.
Yeah, whenever I hear him speak, I just think that he's not saying anything at all. So that's my problem with him.
Hey, I will qualify what I just said that I didn't like him because of his accent. I forgot to mention, for some reason, the funniest thing in the world to me, I have no idea what. The funniest thing in the world to me is someone who has a ridiculous accent making fun of someone else's accent. And one time I looked for it because I was like, oh, we got to watch this. I couldn't find it because I don't remember where I saw it. If anyone knows where I saw this, because I searched for it, Russell Brand imitates Jordan Peterson. I couldn't find it, but it was in an interview. And I clicked on it because I was looking for stuff on Jordan Peterson at one point. And it was Russell Brand talking about Jordan Peterson. And Russell Brand, with his ridiculous accent, starts imitating Jordan Peterson. And he starts going, the lobster. And I was like, oh, this is the funniest thing ever. It's the guy with the dumbest accent in the world making fun of Jordan Peterson's accent. For that has always cracked me up. Like I had 2 French friends at various points who, when I would hear them make fun with their stupid French accents, try to make fun of like a redneck American accent. I don't know, a French guy going, so let's go over. I don't know. It's hilarious stuff to me.
Mate, what is going on here? What is happening?
Hey, so your buddy, after your live stream last night, your buddy Jake Shields responded to me.
Oh, wait, to you? What?
Yeah, he responded to one of my tweets where I was like, oh, okay, so how much money, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, what? Would you travel for free? And I was like, yeah, I'll come along for free. I'll just come along for free, and I'm not even involved. I'll just come along for free just to come along and show you how it's done. And,
I mean, I would travel, to the other side of the world to have the debate, and I wouldn't even expect any payment for that. But the guy is just, he's just like, if I don't get paid, why would I do a 5-hour travel? Like, why would I fly for 5 hours?
But he's saying you could come to him, so why don't we just roll to him? I'll be your camera guy. I'll set it up, but it's funny because if you say you'll come to him, then he might do the same thing and say, no, I said you have to have a huge platform, and then it's like this. Yeah, and if Yeah, so that would be dumb. So wait, all the
He's
places,
the
all
one
the
who
places that have
offered.
big platforms have studios, and you have to go to the studio. And so if he's
Yeah,
saying,
yeah,
so what is he saying? Bring the studio to him.
yeah.
Um,
It does. That's the issue. It doesn't make sense. He's just making excuses and just adding excuses to excuses. When I said to him, "Hey, I challenge you to a debate," he said to me, "Yeah, sure. If you have a big platform, we can debate." We found one immediately, and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to travel. I don't want to travel without getting paid." Okay, now he says I should come over to Nevada, to Vegas, whatever. And how are we going to do that? Am I just supposed to go there and just meet him somewhere, and then we're supposed to have the debate? So what happened to the whole demand of having a huge platform? It's just
mhm.
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Matter. You should clarify it for him and all his fans. Say, Jake, I give you two good options. One, you can travel to Timcast Studios and we'll have the debate and we'll have the big platform. Or you insist you are not willing to leave home. I will come to you. You won't have the Timcast studio there. You won't have that platform, but I'll come to you. We'll record it. We can even just be sitting in a room. It's for the internet. We can even be sitting in. We don't need a crowd. We could be sitting in a room and we'll have the debate. So pick one of those. And if no, I want Timcast Studios, but in my house, then okay, then you're an idiot and you don't actually want to debate. Which
Yeah, I told them from the very beginning when they messaged me about this debate. I said, I just want to point out, I doubt that this will happen. Pretty sure it won't happen. So I'm open to accepting, any other opponent, because I'm pretty sure this is not going to happen. And it turns out I was right.
yeah,
I'm a
weird.
prophet. See?
I don't know. They should give you some MMA belts since you just. I mean, I would say Jake lost by forfeit, and therefore you deserve you deserve to be the UFC champion of the world.
Yeah, and then he's like, he tweeted about me. He's like, he's a dork and a liar. I just don't want to travel that long without any payment. Would you? Uh, Man,
And then we
just
offer, and
say,
then we
just
say, if
say,
it's
I
all,
don't want
if
to
it,
debate.
yeah, so you give him every possible option. You even put out, hey, we could do a GoFundMe. No, we don't do a GoFundMe. Wait, what? Wait, okay. You could go to Timcast, have it there, or we could come to you and we'll record it there. If it's about money, we'll do a GoFundMe. You're rejecting every possible scenario and then saying you're still willing to debate. I don't know. That's just
Yeah,
what a punk.
I find it funny that he called me he called me a dork. That's
Well,
that's his response to.
yeah. What's wrong with you?
Man.
This isn't Mike Winger we're talking about, dude. This is AP. Hey, check out Vinny the Pooh says Farfour is not a real martyr. Yes, he is, according to Islam. Hey, everyone, we came up with an idea of a little horror movie called Five Nights at Farfour's.
Oh yeah,
and it's in a tunnel. It's in a tunnel. Someone is taken as a hostage in a tunnel, and but Farfour, the zombie Farfour, is down in the tunnel, but we don't know when. We don't know how long it will be before joking about Hamas tunnels. I don't know. Is it okay to joke about Hamas tunnels? Because they actually take terror. I mean, the terrorists actually take people there.
of course. Yeah. You can make jokes about rats and tunnels. You can do all of it. It's completely.
We could
fine.
joke about tunnels. That's okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I would want to actually get confirmation from someone that we can make fun of the terror tunnels and have zombie Farfour in there, and someone has to survive 5 nights. If anyone knows a cool like abandoned sewer area, tunnel, something like that in your neck of the woods, let us know, because we could use that as a place to record.
They sound like a good
Zombie
idea.
Farfour.
They sound like a good idea.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do now, I have seen Russell Brand's, it's only like a minute and a half long or something like that, clip on Twitter. I watched that. John McCrae posted a video, and John tends to do a little investigating. So I haven't watched John's video. We're going to watch it. But he does a little investigating and so on. So the issue is, you see this a lot now. You see Ayan Hirsi Ali saying she's a Christian now, but what does she actually mean by that? It's not what most Christians would mean by being a Christian. I made a video about JP from what's it called? something with JP, Awaken with JP or something like that. But he was like a New Age guru, and so he was an actual like new Age guru. But he started making parody videos about New Age gurus because there are people who like go too far, and he kind of started making fun of like what happens if you go too far with your stuff.
Wait. Is that guy who was like that muscular guy with the long hair?
Yeah, he's got long red hair.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember that. Wow.
Yeah, so he was an actual New Age guru, but he noticed it like it's like a vegetarian. You could just be a nice, cool vegetarian, but you could turn into like the super jerk vegetarian. What are you doing? I'm gonna throw paint on you, right? And you could do that with like New Age stuff. So you could be doing your yoga and your meditation or whatever, and you could be like this like super arrogant. So he came up with like his ultra spiritual life videos and stuff. Where anyway, but he's actually he's a funny dude. But anyway, he posted a video a while back where he was saying that he's basically, he said he's warming up to Christianity. He said he wasn't trying to, he wasn't even thinking about it. He just said he's recoiling from all the insane stuff and all the like evil stuff that's going on. And he said he realizes like the more he recoils from the evil stuff, the like more he's liking Christianity. And so anyway, it's I find it interesting, like all these people in all these kind of different situations, that aren't like what normally Christians think, hey, you preach the gospel to someone, they say, I accept the gospel. Whereas these people are coming from like all sorts of different directions, and it's not some sort of like normal conversion, and it's not clear you can even call them Christians in these situations. But I think it's an interesting thing that's going on in society, and I would want to compare that to what's going on, because you have something similar but more sinister with like, Andrew Tate and Sneeko and we're going to convert to Islam. And it's like, well, what's going on? You got these people and they're saying, we're growing closer to Christianity. We're going closer to Islam. Anyway, I find all this stuff interesting.
I said this yesterday during my live stream during the day, but I saw this tweet, and for some reason I can't find it now. I was looking for it earlier, but I saw this tweet of someone's reaction to Sneeko and Andrew Tate, and the tweet was basically saying something like, I barely remembered, I was like half asleep, but it said something like, Islam seems to be the only religion that you can, where you don't have to transform yourself at all after converting in order to be accepted.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's a very nice observation.
Well, you do if you're a woman.
That's true.
They're pretty hard on that. You have to you have to change
that's
a lot.
True. That's true.
So we're gonna check out Russell Brand's clip. I don't remember exactly what he said. What was interesting was he was actually like a good flag, is that he's actually like citing, he was actually like quoting the Bible, if I recall. And it's like, oh, okay, he's actually reading. He's not just saying it to, because what's the concern here, ladies and gentlemen? The concern is he pulling an Andrew Tate? Remember Andrew Tate? There's all these charges against me of sex trafficking. Hey, I'm a Muslim now. Muslims, come to my rescue. And Russell Brand, he's got all these accusations against him. And it's, hey, I really love Christians now. I love Christianity. I love Jesus. And so you don't want to be stupid. You don't want to, I don't have any reason to think that he's not sincere, but you want to listen closely to what someone's saying before drawing any conclusions. So we're going to do that, and then we'll check out John McCrae's take on everything.
All right, then let's see what.
All right. Let's see what's going on here, then. Yeah.
When I was looking for the Jordan Peterson clip, the clip of Russell Brand imitating Jordan Peterson, I clicked on something else of an interview with him. The dude is legitimately smart. He's weird. He's outside the box. Like his brain is not working normally. But he went into a news interview on like MSNBC or something like that. There were 3 interviewers, and I watched him tear them down and then take over the interview. Right. And then by the end, he was like pretending to do the reporting for them. But watching what he's doing, like they had their little like game plan here. Here are the questions we're going to ask and stuff. And he goes in there, he just starts like making fun of everything that's going on. Hey, what are they doing over there? What's going on back there and stuff? And like he's throwing them off, and he's going, so you do this for a living? You do this job for a living and stuff? And he's constantly messing with them and throwing them off by pointing out everything in there. And he completely throws them off their game. They become bumbling and start stuttering and stuff like this. And then he starts making fun of them for not being able to do their job. And then he just takes over the interview. All right, I'll do the news. So Edward Snowden, what do we think about this? And it was just, so this guy's, He's got something going on up here that I find interesting. Anyway, check a couple super chats. Check out a couple super chats, and then we'll jump into the short clip, which is Russell Brand's video, and then we'll look at whatever John McCrae is saying about this stuff.
Yeah, and by the end of this live stream, I'm supposed to cry. So,
oh yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Like we joke about this that atheist cries, but like right after I posted it, there's an atheist. What? I'm not gonna cry. I'm an atheist. I don't care. I don't care what he. But it's like, how seriously are you taking me having AP cry in the thumbnail? I don't know.
It's very serious.
Yeah, very serious. Yeah, you better cry.
Yeah.
Can we please clip Hakikachu quoting the leather straps? Did you cut that? Him quoting the where he says the leather straps? Did we get that audio?
Oh,
that would be a good one. That would be a good one to use. Did he actually quote it? Did he say?
There are lots of people here who can do that. He said that in the Q&A section. Somebody sent a super chat and asked about the leather straps, and he actually he explained it in detail. So that could be a nice clip. The Islamic scholar explains important rule. I don't know, some stupid title would do it justice.
AP late again. Nope, I already said that. TikTok, D Wood hit the snooze like a rock. Nope, I was out. Yeah. AP always late. Atheist. D Wood late. Former atheist. Draw your own conclusions.
There's something about atheists
that always makes you late. The Muslim cowboy country song could be your theme. We just need another verse and some background guitars. I started coming up with Muslim cowboy square dance. Muslim cowboy square dance song. So I'll see if I can put that together. But that would be a
Muslim cowboy.
That would be cooler. I can give my jizya to a great Christian man instead of that dirty atheist. Yes, that is.
Yeah.
That is an advantage of being on my channel.
Atheists suck, and that's just a fact, you know.
Clip that, ladies and gentlemen. That's your clip. That's going on my little soundboard here. Already gave jizya to AP. Here's my indulgence. So yes, good to have the jizya and the indulgences.
Thank you for all the jizyas.
Hey, David, if I bring a Quran to Apologetic Con, will you sign it for me? Of course. I've signed tons of Qurans. There are tons of people who have D Wood signed Qurans, and I'm happy to draw you a Muhammad cartoon in there if you want, and to do some origami with it, Quranigami with it if you want. I'm happy to do all that stuff. That's how I roll. But yeah, hope to see you there. Just remind me of that when you come up to me. Hey, I was the one who said that in the super chat. Sir Whitemeat said, the Muslim cowboy, yeah!
That hurts.
Giddy up, little doggy! I converted! Made a hilarious video about you two, a page of the Quran worthy. Ooh, that's serious. Are you familiar with this?
No.
He made a hilarious video. I saw he posted something because I linked to it before it even went live. He said a video was coming out. And so I linked to it.
I saw that he published something. I didn't check it out. It looked like it was including Sheikh Uthman, and I thought, I'm not going to watch that. So.
Yeah, Sir Whitemeat, is that the one you're talking about? The Sheikh Uthman one? That's the one I saw. If he posted something else, that's interesting. And be happy to. Well, we're going to have to probably get back to the Muslim cowboy to check out any of his responses because.
Inshallah.
He's just an easy target. We only like easy targets. We like low hanging fruit.
Yeah. That's why I debated Daniel Kikuchu, for example.
Did y'all watch Ben Shapiro's new rap, Facts?
I saw everyone talk about it earlier, but
is that the one with Destiny?
No. There's another one with somebody else. I saw it go around everywhere, and I thought it's a joke, but then apparently, I don't know.
I saw the Ben Shapiro versus Destiny rap battle because your wife shared it on Twitter, and so I clicked on it. Yeah. Let's see. First stream I managed to catch from you guys. Take my super shekels. We take all the super shekels.
The whole issue between the whole thing with Destiny and Ben Shapiro had a debate, and it's like completely opposite worlds. These two people and their followers, but for some reason Like the comment section is like, I really love this discussion. Wow, how heartwarming. These people
What?
were so nice to each other and stuff like that.
Oh,
It's very, very weird developments.
oh, that's cool. Oh, maybe we should. I don't know if it's interesting. Maybe we should go through some of it at some point.
Maybe.
Ayatollah says, "Who?"
It's just two very fast-talking people talking to each other. And
Hey, here's one for you. Ayatollah Khomeini says, "Who was the bigger underdog, Thermopylae Spartans or Jake Shields' last two remaining brain cells?" I'll go with Jake Shields. The Spartans fought for 3 days.
I don't want to insult him. It's like because I'm scared. The guy is a serious fighter, and what if he beats me up because I insulted him?
Yeah, that's why I would go with you, and then he ain't going to do anything.
But he will
But
beat
David, he's a professional fighter, and you're not. Right, so he's not trained to go for eyeballs.
No, he will beat up both of us.
Yeah, so the Spartans held off the Persians for 3 days and only lost because the traitor, Ephialtes, guided them up so that they were surrounded on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, they would have defeated 1 trillion Persians.
Alhamdulillah.
Bro, David, is Allah the god Hubal? Given the satanic verses, it would seem that Muhammad's conception of the God, not Yahweh. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that, AP?
Is Allah the God Hubal? Given the satanic verses, was Muhammad's conception on the God? It's a difficult issue.
Yeah.
It's I saw
we don't have a ton to go on, right? We've got some little quotations here and there and some late sources.
Yeah, I've seen scholars disagree on that whole thing. Like some arguing that that much of it is based on Hubal, others arguing that Hubal is actually based on an old Semitic understanding of a certain god. But what is clear is that the very same Kaaba that they are using today was at one point dedicated to Hubal, and it was around that Kaaba that they would revere Hubal and ask him for guidance. Like when they try to make a decision on something, that they ask Hubal and stand next to the Kaaba and shoot arrows, and then depending on where those arrows fall, they say, okay, Hubal decided this. And some say that they used to refer to Hubal as Allah because he was the highest god. Others disagree on that. It's just there's not enough information on that whole issue. It makes sense that they might have referred to Hubal as the supreme god, because it is an issue. It is a thing. It is a tradition in older Semitic cultures, apparently, that people used to refer to the primary god or the creator god or the major god, or if there is one god, to that god as Eloh or Elah. And it would make sense that in Arabia something like that developed over time, but nobody really knows. And what we do have is Muhammad creates Islam, adopts Allah, steals much of it from Abrahamic religion without understanding any of it, and doesn't even get the name right. That's it.
Weird stuff. I see people getting the channel memberships. Yeah. Yesterday on AP's live stream, I said that I would have a video up today. I did not finish editing that. I have a lot of quotations. You guys notice I put you find the appropriate verse and then put it on the, take a screenshot, and then I crop everything out, and then I underline it and point to things on there, and that gets really, really time consuming. So anyway, that would be up for channel members. That will be available tomorrow morning, unless like my house burns to the ground tonight. I'm down there all night, and I've got a couple hours of editing left. So that will be up in the morning for channel members, and I'll probably make it public on like Monday. So everyone
if
can
you
check
say
it out.
inshallah, it will probably happen. If you don't say inshallah, you might forget about it.
I thought I was exaggerating when I said it felt like a 30-minute video. It's actually 37, which I cut out all my screw ups. It's 37 minutes. And again, I had chopped out. There was a lot more to be said on that topic, the topic of whether the Quran is actually denying the crucifixion. So I'm thinking if I didn't cut out a bunch of stuff that I could bring up, it would be like an hour and a half, 2-hour video to cover like to go into a little bit of depth. So anyway.
Ayub Hassan here said Christian Arabs say Allah. According to AP, they are Baal worshippers. First off, not Baal. I said Hubal. Those are different entities. Secondly, Allah.
That just became the generic sort of like our word God,
Yeah,
right?
Allah is not when Allah is used in the Middle East or in Arab-speaking cultures. It's because it became the word for God, for whatever God you believe in. It's the title of that God. It's like when you say in English God, you say in English God, which also comes from a different source. But just because you say God, that doesn't mean that your God's name is God. It is just the title that you refer to him by, or in Greek Theos, or in other Deo, whatever it is. I mean, Turks, for example, used to say Tanrı, which is based on Tengri, which is an ancient pagan shamanistic religious sky god. That's just a title. That doesn't mean anything at all. I'm not talking about the word Allah when I say that refers to a certain pagan god. That is only a title. When it comes to the name of that very specific god, Islam doesn't have the name of the Abrahamic God. The name of that Abrahamic God in biblical tradition is Yahweh. Islam has no clue about that and treats that God's name as Allah and acts like that is his proper name. And then you come up with ignorant explanations like these. When you say Christian Arabs also say Allah.
Oh, and Christians say God too.
Yeah.
All right, one more. There are several more super chats. So we'll go and watch the video real quick. Just wanted to do this one because it leads in. Jim says, David, please, as an Englishman, never stop doing that English impression. It's glorious. And yeah, it is indeed. And I don't know of a place like you have in the United States. You have a range of accents. You've got like a Boston accent. There's a kind of Chicago accent. There's like a southern accent. But I mean, England is such a small place compared to like the United States, and they have such different sounding accents. And like the smart British accent is the smartest sounding accent in the world. And so that's like the accent of, I'm Richard Dawkins, and I say that everything can just spring into existence from nothing, blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't matter. He could be saying complete idiotic nonsense. He sounds very intelligent, which is why the new atheist jumped on the bandwagon. It wasn't his points he was making. His points were stupid. The point was his accent. Notice, he wasn't just him. It was also Christopher Hitchens has the super smart sounding British accent. It would not matter what he said. He could be just reading Dr. Seuss. He would sound like he's, expounding upon the secrets of the universe. Douglas Murray's another. Sounds very intelligent.
How about Douglas Murray?
Yeah. It's so weird that you can have an accent that makes you sound like the smartest person in the world, and you could go, I don't know how far it is, 30 miles away or something like that, and have an accent that makes you sound like the bar none dumbest person in the world.
It's that's a box, mate. What are you talking about?
I've got to bloody wet myself. All right, Governor.
What's going on there?
All right, chum. Scotland Yard.
That's their proper accent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yo, I was going down to the store to get me a Slim Jim, innit? It's like you sound like an idiot, dude. You sound so stupid. Anyway, weird, wild stuff. Speaking of really, really stupid British accents, let's go ahead and check out our good friend Russell Brand here.
Nice.
The reason I...
What is happening?
I forgot that he started with that, but that's him. In a few seconds, he's going to be doing that, and they just put a little clip at the beginning because I thought it was funny.
Okay.
Which it worked. They nailed that one because it was funny. Okay, here we go.
Wear a cross is because Christianity and in particular...
Oh, wait, let's back that up. So,
the reason I wear a cross is because Christianity and in particular the figure of Christ are, it seems to me, inevitably becoming more important as I become more familiar with suffering, purpose, self, and not self.
suffering, purpose, self, and not self. He would need to break down what he's meaning by those things, by self and not self. But I don't think he does, but let's see.
Reading the Bible a lot more, and as I've told you before, I'm reading Rick Warren's Purpose-Driven Life.
Rick Warren's Purpose-Driven Life. Assigned reading for all you Russell Brand fans. Do his fans have a name?
The Russells? I don't know.
The Brandies?
Christianity.
The governors, the bloody governors.
About Christianity.
The innits.
Seemed like it was either really irrelevant and old-fashioned and sort of...
Oh, here. This is an interesting point. Saying, when he's younger, let me back up. When he was younger, Christianity either seemed like it's way too traditional, or it's like way too trying to be hip and cool.
Either really irrelevant and old-fashioned. And as I've told you before, I'm reading Rick Warren's Purpose-Driven Life. When I grew up, Christianity seemed like it was either really irrelevant and old-fashioned and sort of dusty and sort of incense and sort of Domine, or they tried to modernize it and it seems just like, right, okay, we're going to talk about Jesus, and like both of...
That's what I'm talking about, right? The guy with the most ridiculous accent in the world, like doing impressions. Okay, so we're gonna go. That cracks me up. Oh boy! All right.
Those roots seem like, I don't know if there's anything for me. And I suppose it takes a certain amount of adulthood, and it might be different for all of us. For me, it seems that it's taken quite a lot to recognize that I need a personal relationship with God. It occurred to me that if instead of always talking to myself inwardly, I could replace one of those voices with an indwelling God. It says in Galatians, it is our job to die so that as Christ died on the cross, he might be reborn in us. I'm very interested to hear what you think, because for me, my heart is open. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat. Remember, you could join us on...
Let's go back and do that breakdown again. What's up? Go ahead.
Off the very beginning here.
Oh, look, he's crying already, ladies and gentlemen. Crying already. Oh, not another person liking Jesus. Oh, good.
It sounds like a very woo-woo way of believing in something. It's like, I don't know. There is a lot of, like, I respect faith very often, a lot, when I see people express why they believe the way they believe and what they believe and so on. Even when I talk to a Muslim, or when I hear a Muslim express their innermost beliefs and things like that, I respect the whole place where the faith and all of that comes from, regardless of what they hold as a result of those beliefs. But when I hear this guy speak about his reasoning so far, it just sounds like it's weird, man. Just runs with the woo-woo explanation so far, but I don't know. It's just my first impression.
AP gotta be hating on all the Christians. Always. He's dumb. He's talking about the Bible. Bible's dumb. Oh, hey. This is two down. Let me check out these super chats real quick, because there's one that applies to you, and I've seen this issue before, like serious. Beatrice here says, would be cool if you made a country road version about Muhammad and Aisha. What do you mean country road? You mean Take Me Home Country Road by John Denver?
How? Why that? That's what I thought, but I don't know.
Yeah, but why that song? Now that's an awesome song. It's one of the songs, like there's that song, there's like Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd. It's where like there's a song and I listened to it and it's like, that's like a perfect song. Like Take Me Home Country Road is like a perfect song.
Almost Heaven, Little Aisha.
Little and her JJ.
Anyway.
She may be too young for a bra, but I love her. Anyway, I don't have to think about it.
So messed up.
I hear her voice in the morning. I got semen stains. She comes over and scrapes them off me so I can head to the mosque.
Always with those stains.
It makes me think that the eyes are the leather strap of the anus. Of the anus. Take me home.
Anyway, we'll work on this.
So here's the comment I was pointing out that is important. Don't know if you guys have seen someone is impersonating AP and replying to our comments on your community posts, complete with a WhatsApp number. I haven't seen that, but I've seen the same thing before with me. There are people who would go in there. They have the same account name, the same picture, and they say, "Hi, it's me. It's David Wood, X17 Apologetics. Just so you know, I got a big problem right now. If you could contact this WhatsApp number and send me some money, blah, 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 blah." So yeah, you want to check that. Yeah, we'd want to check that out and block that person. So matter of fact, AP, we should remember afterwards to go through our community posts and find it, because you got to block the persons.
Inshallah. If the trajectory continues. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, let's see what this guy has to say.
So yeah, we'll check that out.
What this bloke has to say. You know?
All right, listen to. He was already done, but I'm just going back to see what he said after Purpose-Driven Life.
Or they tried to modernize it, and it seems just like, right, okay, we're going to talk about Jesus, and like both of those routes seem like
it's a good impression, right?
I don't know if there's anything for me, and I suppose it takes a certain amount of adulthood, and it might be different for all of us. For me, it seems that it's taken quite a lot to recognize that I need a personal relationship with God. It occurred to me.
Yeah, it's interesting. He points out that, as you mature, you start to realize this, and so I guess the less mature you are, the less seriously you take Christianity, is the point he's making.
That if instead of always talking to myself inwardly, I could replace one of those.
Trust me, Russell Brand, if you're talking to yourself inwardly and you could replace your ridiculous voice with something else, do it. Could you imagine that? You're sitting there like in your mind,
all right, well, say, we're going to go marry Katy Perry and blah, blah, blah. Oh, no.
Like, what the heck? How could you live with that?
Yeah. Sounds like a terrible
voices with an indwelling God. It says in Galatians, it is our job to die so that as Christ died on the cross, he might be reborn in us. I'm very interested to hear what you think, because for me, my heart is open. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat. Remember, you can join us on Locals as a member of our community. There's a link in the description that will take you right there so you can support our ongoing work. Stay free.
I didn't.
That's it.
Yeah, that was his little. He said things here and there in other spots, but that's him saying that. That was lots of people have been reacting to that. I didn't see what the reactions were where he posted this on Twitter, but yeah, that was his little video, and so
that sounded like the biggest, like 1 minute of saying nothing at all. And I didn't watch this video before I made that.
Religious people are saying nothing.
But
the only people who are saying anything are atheists.
Like I've heard more meaningful stuff about religion and spirituality from Dua Lipa, for example, or I don't know, from.
Well, I don't watch anything except Dua Lipa.
Or from Ariana Grande or something.
Yes,
it sounds like nothing. I don't know.
When I see someone twerking, that's a better case. Makes me believe in design of the universe.
I don't know. It's like I don't want to sound disrespectful to the whole thing, although I totally am right now. I know, but I don't know. This just sounds like I'm just not getting anything good out of listening to.
Why are you so judgmental when someone comes along and they're like, "Hey guys, here's where I'm at in life, and here's this little change that's going on." So, I just, I'm reading A Purpose-Driven Life. And so I'm kind of getting started. It's like Ayan Hirsi Ali. And she says, "Hey, I'm a Christian. I just started going to church and I've got to learn. You're like, what? You're not saying anything. You're not propounding.
No, I'm pretty sure I actually sympathize with her way of thinking. Although I feel like it is much less there's much less substance behind her reasoning, spirituality-wise, than behind this guy's, but the way this guy talks and describes it, and then quickly just adds his socials, community where you can subscribe and get more and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. It seems very off-putting, and I don't know.
See, with me, the only off-putting thing about what he said was his voice.
That too, yeah.
There is this issue of like, so again, multiple issues here, and we'll check out what John McCrae thinks about this. Again, John McCrae tends to do a little bit of background analysis and so on, and I don't know anything about this dude. I know there's some charges against him and so on. So, on the one hand, is it something to do with that? And I don't have any reason to think it is. But it's something similar to, people who convert to Christianity or Islam or something like that in jail. And they have a reputation of being fake because, you only converted because you're in jail and you're trying to, you're praying so you could get out or something like that. When that can be true in certain circumstances, but it's also true that, people are going around and they're living a kind of fast life and doing drugs and all this stuff. And all of a sudden they get put in a cell and they got nothing but their thoughts. And you can at that point think through and reevaluate your life and actually have a sincere conversion. But you do have people who are just, oh darn, I got in trouble. Okay, God, if you get me out of this, I'll be on the straight and narrow for like 5 seconds before I go back to doing whatever I was doing.
But the thing is, there's always that thing, right? Oh, God, I got in trouble. What am I supposed to? What should I do? Guys, I found God.
Yeah, and you can see. I've seen people who actually used it like long before Andrew Tate. I was so this was St. Bride's Correctional Center. There were only 2 of us in the dorm. Everyone else was out of the dorm. This was like a 32 man dorm or something like that. Everyone else was out because some of the people have jobs and some of them, taking trades or classes or something like that. There were 2 of us in there, and I'm reading, and I'm like deadlocked on my book, just sitting there. And this guy, I don't know his real name. His nickname was Big Pun. This is back when there was a rapper, Big Pun. And every sort of big, fat, light-skinned dude in prison was called Big Pun at that point. There would be like 3 or 4 Big Puns in every prison. Whoever the biggest, fattest dude in the dorm was, that would be called Big Pun. So anyway, Big Pun, I see him. I'm not paying attention, but I see him walking with a little television. They had these little TVs. This is before flat screens and stuff, but they're like this big. They have a little screen like this, but it's like a big thing and it has a radio on it. Anyway, you could buy these. I never had one. But you could buy a little personal television and have it on your headboard of your bunk. So he walks by me and he's got a television. And I hear him over at the sink and I hear him turn water on. And just water runs for a minute. And then I see him walking back and he's carrying the TV, but the TV's leaking water the entire way, right? And I go see him put the TV back and it's not his bunk. It's someone else's bunk. So what he had actually done was some guy he doesn't like, he took his television, walked over, stuck it in the sink, turned the water on, filled the whole thing up with water, and then went back and put it back on the guy's bunk. And who's going to know? Well, I'm the only one that's there, right? I'm the only one that's there. But I'm not a snitch, so I'm not gonna tell anybody. But here's what happens. Everyone comes back, and the guy finds out later. He goes, "Hey, someone poured water in my TV." He thought someone just went and poured a cup, which would have been the easier thing to do, and I wouldn't even have noticed that. You could just pour a cup of water in someone's TV, and that's gonna cause all the relevant problems. I don't know why he had to carry it all the way over there. But so anyway, this guy thinks that someone just poured a cup of water in his TV, so he's mad, right? And my name's Bennett. I ain't in it. I'm not saying a word. Little time goes by. This guy assumes that some other guy did it because they didn't get along. So he assumes this other guy did it. So he starts bashing this dude's head in with a lock, a master lock for foot lockers. He goes over and starts busting this guy in the head with a lock. And I know the guy's innocent because I know who actually did it. So I have to. So now it's a different situation. This is not. I'm like, oh, I can't tell, but I can't let this guy get his head smashed in with a lock over something he didn't do. So I run over there and jump in between him, and I was like, look, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. It wasn't him. 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 At which point, everyone knows I know who did it, and so on. So I did, and I didn't tell who did it. But Big Pun comes up to me later that evening, and he's like, hey, David, so what time are church services on Sunday? I'd like to go to you. I'd like to start going to church, man. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, here's the time of the services. Yeah, I'm going to be there with you. I'm going to be there. And he started going to church with me. But why is he going to church? Because he suddenly became interested? No, because he doesn't want me to tell that he soaked the other guy's TV in water, and he doesn't want to get his head busted open with a lock. So anyway, wow, that was a long story, but I don't know. People ask me for prison stories, but that's a prison story that I.
That's pretty
so
good.
The point is, there's stuff like that in my mind. There are people who will say, "Oh, hey, I could be a Christian right now, or I could be Muslim right now, and this will help me with something, even if they're not taking it seriously." Sounds like he's taking it seriously, but there is this kind of like New Age Eastern vibe to everything he does, because he'll also post a video about, and now I'm going through the 7 chakras, and what I'm learning about my chakras is that the 3rd chakra, and right, he's doing that stuff. And I've heard from missionaries in certain places that you can go up and preach the gospel to a Hindu and say, hey, believe in Jesus, 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 he's the incarnate God and stuff. And they'll actually convert. They'll say, oh, yeah, cool, I believe in that. And you say, wow, that was easy. And then you find out, no, they just adopted Jesus into among their other gods that they believe in. So apparently it's very easy to get lots of Hindus to accept Jesus. It's when you start saying just Jesus or Jesus alone, that's when they have whoa, hey, this is getting weird. So a lot of the new agey people can be like, oh, I really love Jesus. And all this other stuff. So Jesus kind of becomes a guru among other gurus for them type deal.
That actually makes sense, because it is apparently, so it was part of the polytheist history, where polytheistic religions would exchange gods with others. Like it's a historical thing where different tribes visit each other, or different people from different lands visit each other and introduce their gods to each other, and are like, and this god of mine, does this and this and that, and has helped me in this and this and that way. And they're like, oh, interesting. Let's include that god into our into our house of gods, which is how different gods which is how you can find different gods in different cultures under different names. So that's actually a common thing among in polytheist history. But it's funny that Hindus could also do that today.
Yeah, so I think this is just something we're gonna keep our eyes on, because it is becoming a trend of various people saying some nice things about the Bible, nice things about Jesus, saying I'm a Christian now, or I'm getting closer to Christianity. And the question is, what exactly do you mean? Because they can mean some very different things. Like what Ayaan Hirsi Ali means is very different from what Russell Brand means. And yet
I really like Jesus. I love Jesus. And I think he is the universe. Some weird stuff like that.
All right. So we saw Russell Brand. We're going to look at John McCrae. I don't know if he went through any other clips of Russell Brand to enlighten everyone on what he means by some of the things, but we'll go through some more super chats real quick, then we'll check out John McCrae's video. Megan says, sorry, I'm late. Could you please say TikTok, time to rock again? Yes, I can, Megan. TikTok, time to rock. Time to watch AP cry.
Tiki-toki.
I can't stand it. First Ayaan Hirsi Ali and now Russell Brand.
What is this world coming to?
Why can't everyone just be atheists forever? TMC new video came out yesterday. Oh, the Muslim Cowboy, new video. Hey, Sir White Meat. Sir White Meat. That's what I mean. Is it the we're asking? Is it the same one where it's just a Sheikh Uthman? I haven't clicked on it. I'd be happy to watch it, but is it that one or is it? Did he post something? I don't know why. I could just I will just pull it up in a second. I'll go to his channel, see if he posted something. Since we can't get a clear answer from the 12-year-old here. Beatrice here says, here is your daily deposit by the Israeli government. Keep going. Yes, we thank the Israeli government. We thank Mossad. We thank IDF for funding all our defense of Israel. Robin Hood, wife farting and sleep at 3 a.m. I'm laughing. Leather strap system must be defective. Too much AP and D wood. Yeah, that is a problem. Thomas Smith says, you guys need merchandise. You should make a Babes of Islam calendar with goats for every month. That would be funny. If we put together a calendar, it just says hot babes of Islam, and you open it up, and it's all goats and dresses and stuff.
Yeah. That's
Who wouldn't want one of those? I
used to have a merch store. I don't have it anymore. But hey, that's a good idea.
I don't know if they'd actually let you do that, right? I mean, don't they have some rules?
I don't know. I think if you just people do stuff like that as a joke and publish it. So
Oh, okay. We could try it and see what happens. I like that idea. That's a good idea.
It is.
Farfour. At Farfour, say that about Vinny the Pooh. I get you back in the recording booth and flagellate you again. Looks like that is directed towards Farfour. Sarah says, AP, how can you still be a Zionist? After years of service, the Jews decided to make Shapiro the #1 on iTunes rather than you. You've been humiliated.
I really need to check that out. I'm missing out on the whole trend of the Ben Shapiro music. It's funny.
It's weird. Are they doing that with like AI? Because it sounds exactly like Ben Shapiro. That video, that rap with him and Destiny.
I don't know about that. I haven't seen it yet, or I don't remember it exactly.
I've seen people make these videos where they do a song and it'll be like Johnny Cash singing something, but it actually sounds exactly like Johnny Cash, and it's not.
Oh yeah.
It's not. They're not singing it with that voice. They're using AI to do it.
I have been listening to a Johnny Cash Barbie World song, and it's fantastic.
There was one where they had Boomhauer from King of the Hill doing Rap God by Eminem, and he had those "Sumalama Dumalama Yusum, I'm a Human," right? But he sounded exactly like Boomhauer, and so they're using AI to do this stuff. I'm just wondering if they have an awesome Ben Shapiro impersonator, or if it's just AI.
Maybe.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam. David, you are very Islamophobic, and AP, you are a bigot. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're half right.
My favorite AI songs are Hitler singing Michael Jackson songs.
Oh yeah. I remember seeing some of that stuff. But notice what AP looks for. Ooh, is this actually? Is this the real? Is he still alive? Did he survive in South America? Has anyone else pointed out before the striking similarity, mainly in the voice, but also the moral villainy and cowardice between this Ali Dawa creature and the character Benny from The Mummy in 1999?
I don't know who that character is.
I don't remember that.
I completely forgot about all of that.
Benny.
Benny.
Is that the guy who got eaten by beetles? Oh, yeah. I don't remember what happened to this dude. Did he get eaten by beetles or something?
I barely remember anything of that movie, although I watched it like 3 times or so back in the day.
Yeah, I saw that way back in the day.
Yeah.
Don't know. We'll have to check that out, because if there's an actual similarity, keep in mind, we set the bar pretty high. The parallel has to be at least as good as Ali Dawa's Farfour.
Terrible movie, but yeah.
Yes, I heard about this. Praise God. Oh, there's a comment on the Russell Brand thing. Yes, I heard about this. Praise God. AP, we'll keep praying for you. We want all the wild and witty apologists in heaven. I can answer on AP's behalf. Stop praying for me. I don't believe in your God. Stop it.
Mutually oppression.
Hey, this is a different Sir Whitemeat. This is Sir Dr. Whitemeat. Notice that D. Wood cuts out all his errors when Alan didn't do it in the Quran. Conclude what you will. That is a good point.
That's good.
I screw up a lot when I make videos, and then I cut it all out. And Allah screwed up a lot when he revealed the Quran. He just leaves it all in there.
Yeah. It's because Allah is not a good editor. Yeah. Hey, I did some really terrible things lately, and I feel really bad about those, you know.
Huh?
Anyway, here's my new necklace.
Yeah. Hey, now it's me, AP, and Russell Brand in the Cross Crew. Yo, we represent the Cross Crew, yeah?
Yeah.
What melody is this supposed to be? He's a Muslim cowboy riding a goat through a star-spangled rodeo. I don't know what the melody is supposed to be.
That's funny.
Is it through the Star-Spangled Banner? He's a Muslim cowboy riding a goat. Did they make you sing that when you became a citizen?
No,
AP?
yes.
That's cool.
Yes.
With Mod's Fake Blood. Why is AP not a Christian? Catholics, Orthodox, Lutherans, Calvinists, Anglicans. It's all sex, sex, sex. Hey,
Man.
you're an atheist. You like sex? Yeah, I like sex. Well, we have lots of sex in Christianity. That's funny. We've got Protestants. We've got... That'd be a funny joke. Beatrice says, AP Russell become Christian. It's proof Christianity is true. Oh, AP Russell become Christian. It's proof Christianity is true. You see, you were humiliated.
It is. It is.
That's why he's crying in the thumbnail. There's an actual photograph of him crying.
Yes. Yes.
If the trajectory continues, then AP will submit to Jesus Christ. You will be finished, boy.
You boy. You boy. You boy.
The figure of Christ, I think Brand is thinking about it metaphorically. It is a metaphysical matter, not metaphor. Not like Jesus really rose and is God. He needs to look at evidence for the resurrection. And that's that would be the main concern of Christians with people who are converting, but they're like treating Jesus as, you know, like another guru or something. And are you actually believing that this guy is like the incarnate God who died on the cross for sins and rose from the dead? I'm not sure what these guys believe.
That's the thing, you know, like if I held that position, for example, if I just considered Jesus an amazing character to incorporate into my world of spirituality and to whatever it is, I would probably explain it that way. But and then you could draw your own conclusions from that. But then for him to, I don't know, to give this whole speech and then it just sounds very, very dumb and fake.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, like a Christian would totally understand and resonate with the, hey, I want God indwelling me. I want the Spirit of God within me and so on. To someone from a different mindset, that might mean something completely different.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, we'd have to see. It could be, no, I need Jesus to give me a relationship with the transcendent to superpower my chakras of the... Know what you're talking about.
You see?
Chloe says, here's one way of looking at it, AP. Would you rather continue existing or would you rather stop existing? Does that scare you? Would you rather place your bets on eternal peace or eternal suffering? Place your bet, AP.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Answer the question.
Oh. I'm supposed to answer that? Oh, okay. Would you rather continue existing or would you rather stop existing? Does it scare you? It doesn't scare me. It doesn't scare me at all. Not at all. Would you rather place your bets on eternal peace or eternal suffering?
Why are you trembling?
I would not place my bets on either of those without any reason to, I would say. That's the problem.
You have your answer, Chloe. Panzer of the Lake says, hey, Dr. David Wood and random Turkish guy. Several people were calling AP Apis in Pettichew's comment section. You know what to do. They better watch their mouths.
I already gave him his thing. Like, I told him.
Isn't it? Yeah, isn't it weird though? Like, because it happens every day. There are guys who know I will respond instantly by doing something to the Quran, or by posting a Muhammad cartoon, or just by insulting Muhammad. If they come at me insulting, and they just can't stop, even though they're commanded not to. They're commanded not to start insult battles if people are going to insult their religion in return, and they can't stop. It's very. I don't know. I find it interesting.
That's funny.
I can assure you, AP is very mature and well past that point in his life. More mature than Russell Brand. Come on, Russell Brand has been in multiple movies, so don't tell me don't tell me AP is more mature than a guy who's been in multiple movies.
But he was in that movie. What was that?
I've never seen a Russell Brand movie. Huh?
Romantic comedy movie where he was like a side character.
Who would want him?
What was that?
It's funny. The only thing I dislike about the dude is his accent. There's nothing else. He could be the nicest guy in the world. I don't know. I can't get past the accent. Yeah, even nowadays, you can see Richard Dawkins getting scared because Dawkins getting older. He knows one day he might wake up in hell, separated from God forever for not seeking God. Time is ticking. I don't know. That could be the case. I don't have any reason to think that's what's on Dawkins' mind. I think some of the new atheists who are leading the charge are recognizing, hey, we were destroying things and we didn't know what they were doing in society really, and we didn't really have a good replacement for it. And so there's some problems that we don't know how to deal with right now. I think lots of the new atheists are catching on to that. I have no reason to think that Dawkins is saying, I'm getting old now and I'm nervous about what's going to happen. He might be worried about dying, but he doesn't seem to take afterlife seriously at all.
I'm getting pretty old right now. Maybe I should do something about that. Yes. Oh yeah, somebody. No,
what?
It was. It was Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Some very terrible movie. That's where I saw him. And
well, I have no idea what that is, so I don't have to forget it. And now that I've heard about it, I'll forget it again. You can come up to me or, hey, what's that movie? And I will have forgotten it. I will have completely forgotten it. All right, one more super chat, and then we'll start going through John McCrae's video. We'll see what he has and whether it's stupid or good for once. Josh says, I really like your logical takes videos like the one you did about Dave Chappelle. Do you think your psychopathy helps with that, being that when you think with your feelings, you become irrational? Yeah, that can be an issue that, people can get emotional while they're examining an argument and can kind of miss the argument. So, I don't know. I guess it can help in certain situations that I can keep focused on an argument, and even if it's something that's turbocharged, because I think the Chappelle video he's talking about is where Chappelle was talking about abortion. And so that would be an emotionally charged issue for a lot of people. Anything you say, you could get a bunch of people flipping out instantly over what you said. Yeah. All right. We ready to go through
I always thought it would be a fantastic thing if technology developed to such a level where you could just disable your emotions to deal with a certain task and then enable them again after you're done.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Some weird fantasy world. Anyway, yeah. Let's continue.
I haven't seen that particular thing suggested, but I was reading an article. This was like 20 years ago, so I don't know when they're thinking this would actually be a thing. But at first they were talking about savants, like autistic savants, with people with like these amazing ability, like in Rain Man, the guy can multiply, the real life guy could multiply 13-digit numbers in his head and so on. He could read and had total recall of everything he would read. So they end up with turbocharged brains in certain areas, but their brains aren't working well in other areas. And so it was traditionally thought that if your brain isn't working well in certain areas, that it compensates by, turbocharging a different, a certain area of your brain. And then you end up with amazing abilities. Anyway, they're doing all these studies and so on, and they're finding out that that's not what actually is going on. What's going on is areas of your brain that are working well generate some electrical interference that interferes with other areas of the brain. And so if you have an area of the brain that isn't working like it's supposed to, it's not generating the electrical interference for the other part of the brain. And so that other part of the brain isn't being interfered with, and it can do these things. So the idea was we can all do these things. There's just so much interference from all the different parts of our brain working that we're not sort of reaching our full potential in each area. And so they proposed, and they said at some point in the future, you could actually have a little device similar. That's why it's creeping me out when Elon Musk was coming out with his Neuralink and stuff like that. They're saying you could have a device to where you can just like shut down part of your brain that you don't need, and all of a sudden you could multiply 13-digit numbers. So if you want to be doing math, you want to be writing or making music, you could actually be able to shut down parts of your brain so that they aren't generating interference, and you'd have savant abilities in those other areas.
Nice.
That would be pretty
Look
dope.
Look what I started here. I brought up a hypothetical situation, and then David started talking about
relevant, cool stuff. Yes, exactly. I did that. That just happened. You're correct, AP. Let's check out
Russell
what
Brand recently
John McCrae
posted a
said.
video on X talking about his change of heart towards Jesus, which led a lot of people to suspect that he's truly nearing a Christian conversion. But what's so fascinating about this is that Russell has gone from seeking God through pleasure to, ironically, starting to find God through pain. Let's talk about it.
He did say that. He said that it's his familiarity with suffering that is causing him to be attracted to Christianity. So interesting, John.
Now, in order to fully appreciate just how drastic of a shift this has been, you first need to understand Russell's religious views over the last several years. In the past, Russell's made it clear that he saw all religions as equally valuable.
Whether or not you identify as a Christian, for me that's not where I go with religion. Find a way of relating to divinity, to the divine. Create your own religion.
Russell not
That's what I've sort of. Again, I've never been able to listen to that guy for more than a minute or two, but that's what he seemed like to me when he was talking about religion in various points in the past. Similar to what AP would say.
That's the thing. I know it sounds like a terrible thing to say, and but whenever I heard that guy talk, or I saw him featured on talk shows and all that, I thought, I don't understand how people can even listen to that guy. And your issue, it's funny, your issue is with his accent and the way he talks. My issue is just I don't know, I find it so extremely uninteresting, whatever he says. It's so lacking of any substance. But I know I'm being my very, very critical self right now, and yeah, I should stop.
Can't even listen to the man to hear him out. Pretty sad. Welcome to Atheism, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Atheism.
only saw everyone as quote-unquote God.
I believe God to be the limitless consciousness, of which my own tiny little consciousness is but a part. That my belief is that consciousness itself is one. If we're all one, we might as well be nice to each other.
He's also taken a classical Eastern view of believing that the physical world is just an illusion.
But remember, of course, that the material world is an illusion.
And it's because of this that Russell concluded that suffering is just an...
You see why I like John? He'll actually go through everything. You know what I mean?
I know.
I like it. I like it. Good job, John. He does the work, so I don't have to do it. And then I could just watch his... I might want to do this regularly. Like anytime something's popping up, just grab John McCrae's video. He'll pull up the person's old clips and stuff.
Is that consciousness itself is one. If we're all one, we might as well be nice to each other.
He's also taken a classical Eastern...
Well, if we're all one,
so
I might as well be in charge and beat the crap out of everyone else.
So profound. Never heard that before.
Because if I beat the crap out of you and we're one, it's just me beating the crap out of myself, and you can't hold that against me.
I've never heard anyone before say, might as well just be nice to each other. First time I hear this ever.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Russell Brand.
Hey, we're all one. It's all an illusion, so just be nice to each other, be kind. Governor.
So insightful that you come up with that all by yourself, Russell Brand, because it's amazing, isn't it?
The world is just an illusion.
But remember, of course, that the material world is an illusion.
And it's because of this that Russell concluded that suffering is just an illusion that only exists in your mind. This is why in the past, whenever he explained how to deal with suffering, his answers have always been a variation of just changing your perception.
How I handle hard times. How do you handle hard times? This is a trick of perception. Often when I am sad or unhappy, I try to bring my focus to the many things I have to be grateful for. This is a trick of perception long practiced.
To better understand how his view of the world tied with his view of perception, think about when you were young and you thought that there was a monster under your bed. At that time, you had a perception of the world that included monsters living underneath your bed, and because of that, you couldn't sleep at night and you suffered from the fear of something that wasn't real. But maybe your parents gave you a teddy bear that they told you would keep you safe. Once you started to...
It was totally real. What are you talking about?
AP is the teddy bear. I'm not sure where he's going with this.
You couldn't sleep at night and you suffered from the fear of something that wasn't real. But maybe your parents gave you a teddy bear that they told you would keep you safe. Once you started to believe in the powers of the teddy bear, then you were able to change your perception and your fear of monsters could no longer cause you to suffer. The reason why your changing perception solved the problem was because your perception was the cause of the problem. So therefore, when you changed your perception, you got rid of the problem. Now,
see, I would rather listen to John than listen to Russell Brand.
See, AP would rather listen to the real Christian than the kind of Christian.
if you can understand that analogy, then you can understand how Russell viewed the entire world. He's basically saying that if you realize the thing that causes your suffering is an illusion, then you can change your perception of the problem. You decided to go from one illusion to another. And if you change your perception, then you get rid of the problem. And this view of the world seemed to be working really well for Russell. It helped him with his recovery and countless other things. Well, that was until the recent allegations against him surfaced more recently.
Police say they're investigating allegations.
I love how John goes. I don't know where he gets the time, but I love how he brings up everything.
Sexual offences following claims made against the comedian Russell Brand.
Describing these
Did he
allegations
just say
against...
sexual offences?
What did he say?
He just said sexual offences.
Let's see what he said.
Recently.
Police say they're investigating allegations of sexual offences following claims made against the comedian Russell Brand.
Sexual offences.
These allegations against Russell Brand as being very serious.
They said that they have received a number of allegations of sexual offences.
You see that guy Zabiba? Look at that guy on the right. Look at that Zabiba, man.
It looks like a Zabiba.
That
Could
dude's
totally
got a
qualify.
Zabiba. See, Russell Brand is converted to Islam. He's hanging out with a guy with a Zabiba.
A woman who has accused British comedian and presenter Russell Brand of sexual misconduct has described his response to the allegations as insulting.
There are more allegations that have come in following those.
Wait, Russell Brand is a comedian?
Yep. I don't know how good of a comedian he is. I mean, he became famous, so there's someone who but that's not saying a lot because Carrot Top became famous. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
In other words, I don't know how funny I would find his. I'm just going to have to watch a show of his at some point and see.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could auto-tune his voice somehow to make it not sound as horrible.
That's fun.
Reported ones.
Although Russell used to be an actor and a comedian, he since shifted over to being a full-time YouTuber. But after these allegations came out, he was demonetized on YouTube, losing a significant portion of his income as well as a sustained reputation. Now,
what do you think?
Demonetized? What the hell?
Yeah, he got demonetized because of the allegations. What do you think, AP? Is he guilty or not guilty?
Because of the implication. I don't know. I would have to... But this, I know that it's a funny thing. The sudden change in your life choices, sudden change of heart in religious beliefs and propagating those might to some look like, oh, okay, it looks like he is guilty of something, which is why he's trying to sell a different persona now. But that's just, you can't come to that conclusion without knowing the facts, right?
Yeah, and that's because, there is the parallel, a loose parallel with Andrew Tate. And all of a sudden, all this stuff, all these accusations start coming out against him. And then, hey, I'm a Muslim now. And, you know, in general, you might want to be suspicious about that. So someone could say, well, you know, why would you condemn Andrew Tate and not Russell Brand? Well, if Russell Brand had been bragging about the sexual assaults for years, and then it's confirmed by actual victims coming forward, then okay, I don't care what he says. He's been admitting it all along. And if he suddenly gets charged and then he denies it, all right, I'm not going to believe anything the guy says. So that would be the situation with him if that were the case, like it is with Andrew Tate. Tate runs his mouth about doing all this stuff for years until some of the victims actually come forward and police investigate. And then suddenly, oh, I didn't do any of those things that I said I was doing for the past 10 years. It wasn't me. That was just a persona. So yeah. If Andrew Tate had no reputation for doing the stuff that he was accused of and some women came forward and accused him, I would be thinking, okay, suppose it was just he was doing OnlyFans and he's like an OnlyFans manager, but he's not trafficking. He's not doing the lover boy method. He wasn't raping it. If all the accusations, he hadn't been bragging about doing those things and it was just, I was a porn site manager or something like that. And some women started accusing him of rape and trafficking stuff. I'd be like, okay, we're going to need to see the evidence because you could actually just be upset at the guy for not giving you enough money or something like that. You could be making this stuff up. There are people who make stuff up. So yeah, it would be a situation where, I don't know, I'm going to have to see the evidence before I would draw judgment. But that's the situation with Russell Brand. I have no idea. Are there people who make stuff up? Yes. So yeah, don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was several months ago that this stuff came out, right, about Russell Brand, and then immediately people started going, "Oh no, he's definitely guilty," and others were like, "No, he's definitely not guilty," and they're just doing this because of his political stuff. And both sides are just completely acting out of, political bias. Or otherwise a bias. You and I, we can't possibly know whether the allegations are true or not, and what the reason behind it is. So,
and that's another huge issue. Anyone who gets accused of anything nowadays, it comes down to what are his recent political claims, and that's how we're going to judge whether his guilt or innocence of these accusations. If he's on our side politically, he's innocent, and he's just a smear campaign. And if he's not on our side, he did that. He's guilty. Yep, exactly what I would expect from that evil, sick pervert. And so, yeah, guys, we want to avoid that. And so, again, if Andrew Tate, if he said, I convert to Islam and now I'm going to do Dawa, and I love the Dawa guys, that would make me suspicious because there's just a disturbing degree of creepiness involved in some of the guys who go into Dawa. But if it were accusations, it wouldn't matter if he became a Muslim or not. I would suspend judgment until there's some evidence in. But with him, he gave everyone all the evidence for years. He was bragging about it.
There's no doubt. So it's clear.
No doubt. Yeah. All right. So let's take a couple super chats.
We have no doubt, and we're proud of them.
And we're proud of that. AP, if you need more shekels, just say, and I will talk to the Mossad. I got you, bro.
Thank you.
AP does need more shekels. That is true. So, yes, talk to Mossad. Talk to everyone over there.
I do need shekels. That's true.
AP needs all the shekels. Dimla says, imagine the existential horror of being English. This is an awesome comment. Imagine the existential horror of being English and going to bed knowing tomorrow you'll have to do the accent all day over again. I'll say it once more. It depends on the accent. Some English accents you would wake up and say, wow, I'm so glad I have the most intellectual sounding accent in the universe, right? You could be thankful for that. I mean, seriously, if you woke up and you're like, oh, hey, I go and bloody brush me teeth, yeah? I'd be like, oh my goodness, put me out of my misery.
But if you have a British accent and you are actually speaking the correct British accent, you are automatically popular. That's the thing. Of course, you have to avoid speaking whatever you just spoke. It's true.
I seriously wonder about I seriously wonder about like just languages and accents and how if they wire your brain in certain ways. I mean, just think like World War II. You've got the French, and they sound like right. And and all of a sudden this army's coming at them, and the army's led by a guy who's it's like I could tell you just by their accents who's going to crush the other. And so I wonder if like the way people speak wires their brains to be like, you know, strong or weak. I don't know.
I don't know. The French have a pretty strong history, so that might be a little bit off.
But we don't know what they sounded like 300 years ago when they were tough for 5 minutes. Right? It could have sounded different before they adopted their modern.
The French also did the French Revolution. I mean, it was a bloody revolution. It was a really bloody revolution.
But they may have been that. Like, so let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say they had the same stupid accent that they have now. Maybe they were compensating, right? Maybe they're like they're embarrassed. It's like, you know, someone gets bullied all his life and like becomes goes into MMA fighting or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. But
that makes complete sense.
People, I don't know where his accent comes from. What part of the UK?
It's London. It's. I think it's regular London or something.
They need to destroy that spot. But everyone should go through the classes. There was that movie. I saw part of it, but my wife used to watch all these Audrey Hepburn movies. And there was one where she had a stupid, ridiculous accent, and she went through training so she could sound like an intelligent person. Everyone should have to go through that training if they sound like Russell Brand. Should just be required in schools. I'm saying, if a kid walks in first grade and he's like, hey, it's like, okay, we got a class for you. You got to go to a class and learn how to talk.
Learn how to talk.
Solitary Emmy says, I saw a clip of someone who thinks he's gone to hell, near-death experience. He said the worst torment was that he knew he could never, ever see his creator again. How does that make you feel, AP? That put the fear in your heart?
I don't buy it. I don't buy your near-death experience.
See? Oh, I don't see. Where's the evidence? Where? I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm AP. I'm an atheist. I see nothing.
Yeah, how about no? I don't buy your near-death experience.
Chloe says, you can still be a gamer and a Christian, AP. I'm gaming right now while listening to you guys. Skyrim with mods. The only thing that changes is your soul.
Speaking of horrible accents, Australian accent, because it's Chloe, I know.
It's weird. Australian sounds like to me, it sounds like a combination of like a regular or even a smart British accent combined with like a US Southern redneck accent. And there's like mixed them together in this accent that sounds kind of cool, but sounds kind of dumb. I don't know.
I can't even like try to imitate it because it makes no sense to me at all. Like the accent is very, it's a very weird accent. Like how did it even come into existence? It makes no sense. No sense at all.
They were all convicts. The entire island is a bunch of convicts. You think convicts are speaking perfect, proper English? Come on.
Maybe that sounds about right. Yeah.
Eliyahu says, Dr. D. Wood, isn't it obvious that the evil demiurge from the Old Testament is not the same God Jesus spoke about in the New Testament? Are the rest of the Gospels, like Thomas and Judas, etc., heretical? No, that doesn't work. That's that's considered a heresy, saying you're talking about different gods. So you have different rules, but New Testament affirms it as scripture. So you gotta come up with another way of working through that. And are the rest of the Gospels, like Thomas and Judas, etc., heretical? I mean, guys, you want to do yourselves a favor when you hear about something like the Gospel of Judas? sit down and read a page of the Gospel of Judas and tell me if that sounds like it came from a first century Jew. I actually read the Gospel of Judas when it became this big news story, and I was like, this is the most insanely idiotic, weird nonsense I've ever read in my life. But for as far as the later Gospels and sources are concerned, yeah, lots of them are going to be heretical, but it doesn't really. I mean, that's one problem. The real issue is whether they're authentic or not. If it's not a first century document that goes back to someone in the first century, and it's written in the 3rd or 4th century, really wouldn't matter. If it's completely orthodox, you wouldn't take it seriously as a source.
Is it as bad as the Gospel of Barnabas, though?
It's in a sense, it's way worse. So the Gospel of Barnabas, the problem is, the Gospel of Barnabas is from way later. I think the Gospel of Judas is something like second half of the 2nd century, whereas the Gospel of Barnabas is like over 1,000 years after the time. The problem with the Gospel of Barnabas is it's claiming to be this gospel and claiming to be there, and it's getting all the historical references right. They don't know the geography, saying, oh, and then we sailed to Nazareth. You can't sail to Nazareth, you dummy. And it's saying all these things that clearly indicate that it's a later forgery. When you read the Gospel of Judas, it's like this Neoplatonic philosophy about the pleroma of this. It's like using all these words and stuff that are taken from weird Greek philosophy. And it's just, so they're like completely different things. But they're really weird and stupid in different ways.
That reminds me of when I read those. What was this? Some of those Gnostic Gospels that I have around somewhere here. It's just very, very, very interesting stuff that is very different and seems like clearly coming from a very different source.
That was funny. They found those Gnostic Gospels in a big clay pot that they found, and
that includes the Gospel of Judas. Okay. I have the Gnostic Gospels collection, including Gospel of Judas, the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Mary.
Open up the Gospel of Judas and start reading the Gospel of Judas.
Okay. Opening up the Gospel of Judas right now. Wait a minute, where is that? What? There's so much here. The Gospel of Judas, page 251. Wow. Well, that's quite short. What is this? That's quite short. Let's see. Hold up. Almost there. The Gospel of Judas. A Canaanite Gnostic Gospel, AD 150, circa 150, composed in Greek, translated into Coptic, and so on, whatever. At a solemn, momentous, most awesome hour, the blessed Son of God, the divine Logos, Lord Jesus Christ, descended on earth. He came to save our fallen, sinful world. He performed many miracles and executed wondrous marvels. He transferred water into wine, fed the hungry multitudes with fine loaves and fresh fishes. He raised Lazarus from the dead. This doesn't sound...
No. Like Get to the point where Jesus is talking.
I don't know where that is. He mercifully healed the sick, and so on. Where is he talking? He lived in Judea among us. We were shocked and asked him, why mock us when we are prayerful? The Lord answered, I'm not laughing at your good selves, you who imagine you're worshipping of your own free will, but through God's will we shall be praised. Master, we exclaimed, you must be the Son of God. He said, do you truly think you know who I really am? Nobody from any nation will ever know my true nature. Yeah. Is that it? Do you want more? Why let anger disturb you? God, the divine light within you, has caused that displeasure to arise in your minds. Okay.
Look for the pleroma part.
Pleroma part. Perfect being. We're all brave. Admonition. I fell silent and then said, Lord, truly. Huh. I don't know, man. You have to go through that.
Oh, okay. Maybe they tried translating some of the weird terminology that he's using.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I shall reveal to you more secrets from the kingdom of heaven.
Mm-hmm. Huh. And those secrets
doesn't sound like the Gospels at all.
No. Yeah, that's what I mean. Sounds like a completely different guy.
Yeah, completely different guy.
Russell Brand is bipolar, so that explains a little how his brain works. Is he bipolar? Like, really?
Is he? Oh, I don't know.
AP, the most respected prophet, your wisdom of the ages is only surpassed by your integrity. May your tears reflect the compassion of a true cult leader. Hi, D-Wood, thank you. Stay away from Islam.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Love Thy Neighbor says, did you and AP meet in prison? No, AP's not been in prison.
Yeah, we met in prison. Yeah.
AP was still in diapers in Germany when I was fighting every day of my life just to survive. What were you guys in prison for? What? AP was not in prison. And if you want to know what I was in prison for, I have a whole video on that. Check my channel. D. Wood, a few years ago, I got to see Nabil speak in person in Miami. Do you know of any ministry in Miami reaching out to Muslims with the gospel? No, I don't know anything about Miami.
You don't know anything about Miami?
But we got a conference coming up. We got a conference coming up in somewhere in Florida. So you might want to come to it. Bunch of Christian apologists going there. Goat Hub said, you can find that very calendar here. 50% off limited time. Goat Hub has the hot babes of Islam calendar. Varun said, that is 100%. As Hindu, we only have issue with exclusivity. So this is a comment on earlier when I said, you can. It's not difficult for Hindus to accept Jesus, but to accept him exclusively, that's kind of an issue. He says, as Hindu, we only have issue with exclusivity of Christianity as Jesus being only one valid path and other paths wrong. Love Thy Neighbor says, make t-shirts that say, I choose the cow. Yeah, I think you could get away with that because no one would be able to say what it's really about and prove it. Shapiro rapped with Tom McDonald. Who's Tom McDonald? You know who Tom McDonald is?
Nope.
Or is that the guy who rapped as him?
Yeah, that's the guy that is in that song, but I don't know. I don't know who that is actually. I only still saw the thumbnail, turn it briefly on. Yeah. That's it.
Oh wait, hang on. Let me get these next couple of chats here because there's someone else commenting on it. Anti-theism or new theism. Many atheisms reject all religions, but made someone the only god to worship, like Mao and Stalin back then. No doubts allowed. Yeah, that's an ongoing issue that lots of people are recognizing as well. As soon as you say don't worship God, you tend to make an idol out of something else. And so what's that going to be? And it's going to have to be the state, or it's going to have to be your group or something else. Yeah, so Velvet Jazz says it's really Ben. Check out Noel's reaction. So she said it's actually Velvet Jazz says well, I don't know if that's a he or she. Says it's actually Ben doing the rap. That would be interesting. I told you it sounded exactly like him. So it's either some powerful AI or the greatest impressionist of all time, or it's actually Ben Shapiro.
I shall check it out. What is going on in this gospel?
Would you find some powerful, life-changing stuff there?
It says by his will he generated 72 luminaries to shine in that imperishable
That's what
rays.
I'm talking about. 72 luminaries and blah, blah, blah. It's like, what are you talking
Then
about?
by his will, the 72 created 360. So each luminary possessed 5. What in the world is this?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the Gnostic emanations stuff. And that's the issue. It's like, okay, Jesus was not walking around talking about these Gnostic emanations of the pleroma and the this and that and the luminaries. And then his fisherman disciples were asking him about all this stuff. Come on.
Yeah. I tell you that they write my name on stellar powers through the medium of humans. This is insane. This has nothing to do with anything that you get from the Gospels or early Christian writings.
Yeah, weird stuff. Hey, important comment from Jim here. Muslim calendar merch would be taken down fast for child exploitation. Yeah, could you imagine if Daniel Hakikachu and the Muslim Cowboy and Rosie and Ali Dawa all got together to make a Hotties of Islam calendar? It'd be a bunch of like 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds and 8 years old, and yeah, they'd have to be taken down for child exploitation.
That will be very problematic. That's why you can't make a proper movie about Muhammad's life, like at least not with real people, because you'd have to include child bride and stuff like that. And
yeah, could you imagine that? That's the issue. Like they had, I mean, they did the movie The Message. I've never seen it, but they had, so they didn't show Muhammad, but they show, you know, it's from like his point of view. But I wonder, did they actually have like Aisha in that movie? Like a little tiny, and was she like a little girl? I don't know. Has anyone seen that? Did they include Aisha in the Message movie?
The Message movie, the old movie?
Yeah, there's like an old movie from like the 70s
No,
called The Message.
No, they don't.
No
don't.
Aisha?
I think it doesn't mention her at all, and it doesn't show him. It doesn't show him. Whenever he is there, it's from his perspective without showing anything.
Does it or does it not show him banging all 9 of his wives in one night?
Unfortunately not.
Can you imagine if you actually tried to make a Muhammad movie and be authentic, and oh, Prophet, let me scrub the semen stains off your back so you can go hug it out at the mosque. It'd be the grossest thing ever. We're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to make it.
Yeah.
Vocab would totally be down for the movie, but we would. That'd be a lot of work to do a full movie. Might have to do it. That might be our like lifetime goal is getting that done. A Muhammad movie. Similar quality to like one of the old Monty Python movies. Me Albania, be careful. What's that mean? Me Albania, be careful.
Sounds like a threat.
He's a Muslim cowboy. He's a rhinestone cowboy. I don't know that song. There was a horrible movie called Rhinestone with Sylvester Stallone. It was the pretty much worst thing ever.
Rhinestone?
Rhinestone. He played a country guy who was a cabbie who became a country singer, and then they had to act like he was this awesome country singer in the world, and it's like the worst thing you've ever heard. But he's supposed to be good in the movie. Anyway, it was awful. It was awful, and he's really, really bad. And of course, he's cool. Yeah. He acknowledges it.
Terrible.
All right, all right. Let's get back to John McCrae. Then we'll get back to Super
Whether or not you think he's innocent or guilty is really beside the point, because for the purpose of this video, all you need to know is that he seemed to be internally suffering as a result of these allegations, which has pushed him towards God. On his old view, he would have to just shift his perception by telling himself that the thing that's causing his suffering isn't real, and therefore he wouldn't have to feel the consequences of these allegations. But that would seem to be incredibly difficult given the fact that changing perception won't fix his public reputation, and it won't bring back his primary source of income.
Interesting. So you can deal with certain problems by changing your perspective. He gave the example of if you think there's a monster under the bed, and you think, a teddy bear is going to help you, and if you trust the teddy bear, then you notice the problem was already in your mind. So if you change your perspective, the problem is solved. If you're being accused of a bunch of sexual assaults and you get demonetized from YouTube and everyone's calling you, accusing you of being a rapist or whatever, then changing your perspective doesn't make it go away. So changing your perspective isn't fixing it. So it looks like John is pointing out that when you're actually dealing with some stuff that isn't changed by changing your perspective, then you gotta find something that actually helps you deal with the problem.
This is where his old worldview really started to break down, which ultimately leads us to where he is today. In a recent clip, he no longer seems to see all religions as equally valuable for him, but instead, he seems to be narrowing down on Christianity. And listen to his reasoning as to why.
The reason I wear a cross is because Christianity, and in particular, the figure of Christ, are, it seems to me, inevitably becoming more important as I become more familiar with suffering, purpose, self and not self.
We'll pause right there for a second, but I hope that all of this is starting to make more sense. If he's starting to believe that his suffering is real, he's currently wrestling with how to make sense of his suffering, which has led him to be drawn to Christianity and its unique explanation for suffering. This would also explain why he's now reading the Bible and other Christian books which directly deal with the Christian understanding of suffering.
Reading the Bible a lot more, and as a
What are you shaking your head for?
I don't buy a single word of it. It sounds
John
very
McCrae?
slimy.
You're calling John McCrae a liar?
No,
Hear that?
I think,
AP
I
says
think
he
God is
doesn't buy
being-
a single word that John McCrae says because he's a
I think-
Christian and black. Is it because he's black, AP? We putting this all together. Oh, I memorized all of Hitler's speeches. Don't listen to that black guy over there.
That is actually why. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's actually the reason. But also because I don't know. I think John is usually, as usual, being very charitable. When I listen to Russell Brand, I just don't buy it. I don't buy a single word of it. It just sounds very, very slimy to me. And I don't know, maybe I'm just incapable of understanding that the guy means it. But that's just where I am. That's where I stand.
You hear that? As soon as anyone says anything nice about Christianity or the Bible, AP, you're lying. You're lying. Only atheists speak the truth.
Here is the thing. He's not even saying anything nice about belief in Christianity and the Bible and Jesus and all of that. To me, when he speaks, it sounds like he's just saying something nice about himself. That's what it sounds like to me. Like the moment Russell Brand opens his mouth, it's like it's about himself. It is a whole huge hippie ego trip. That's what it looks like to me. And I just can't get over that impression.
Now you hear this? You hear this, everyone? You hear this judgmental? Now, I admittedly can't stand the dude, but it's because of his accent. It's because of a legitimate reason. AP just, he doesn't agree with me on everything.
Literally. That's good.
He's now reading the Bible and other Christian books which directly deal with the Christian understanding of suffering.
Reading the Bible a lot more, and as I've told you before, I'm reading Rick Warren's Purpose-Driven Life.
He also posted to his Instagram page that he's now reading C.S. Lewis's book, The Problem of Pain, where Lewis doesn't offer readers a way to eliminate suffering, but instead a way to understand its existence and its purpose in our spiritual growth. So
look at AP. Look at AP grinning. He's reading C.S. Lewis. That's what everyone tells me to do, but they don't know. I don't read.
I've never read a single thing in my life.
Yeah, put it into a video. Maybe I'll check it out then, losers.
Reading is
what's all this reading? Russell Brand, another reason to hate Russell Brand. He has this, he has my favorite accent in the world, but he's reading.
Yeah, who reads? Andrew Tate said reading is for losers.
Powerful.
If you notice, none of the books that Russell's been reading talk about suffering as an illusion. Instead, they all claim that suffering is real, which not only validates Russell's experience with suffering, but it also shows how to process and make sense of it. So now with that in mind, listen to the rest of the clip where he talks about how Christianity is now relevant to his life.
When I grew up, Christianity seemed like it was either really irrelevant and old-fashioned and sort of dusty and sort of incense and sort of Honor Domine, or they tried to modernise it and it seems just like, right, okay, we're going to talk about Jesus. And like both of those routes seem like, I don't know if there's anything for me. And I suppose it takes a certain amount of adulthood, and it might be different for all of us. For me, it seems that it's taken quite a lot to recognise that I need a personal relationship with God. It occurred to me that if instead of always talking to myself inwardly, I could replace one of those voices with an indwelling God. He says,
I have to point out, with his stupid accent, when he did that, right, when he did that, he's actually good at doing other, this is what bothers me most about his stupid accent. He can do he can actually imitate other people. But I've seen him like on Saturday Night Live playing different characters, and he can sound like a perfectly intelligent English person. They had a skit where he was playing like an English king or something like that, and he sounded completely different. So here's what's weird. He's capable of sounding like a normal person, and he doesn't. So he's not even trying. You're not even trying to sound like a regular person, and you could. It's one thing if you had no ability to sound like a regular person, but I don't know. If you could not sound like an idiot, why would I don't know?
Why would you? Yeah, that makes sense.
Galatians. It is our job to die so that as Christ died on the cross, he might be reborn in us.
Now, this is a dramatic shift from where he came from. On his old view, Christianity couldn't
No, it's not. I'm AP. I don't believe any of that.
be relevant to him while he was suffering because he seemed to only be interested in views that gave him ways to eliminate suffering. But once he realized that suffering was real and something that couldn't be ignored, he started to look for a way to make sense of it. And this is precisely why Russell seems to be drawn to Christianity as opposed to other religions. Christianity doesn't try to deny the existence of suffering. In fact, it doesn't even give you ways to avoid suffering. Instead, it gives you something much greater, a meaning and a purpose for your suffering. Romans 8:28 says that God causes all things to work together for the good of those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose.
It's interesting. John's honing in on purpose and having the purpose. What was that? Was that a Nietzsche? Was that a Nietzsche quote? My brain is fried right now.
Which one?
I got like 3 hours sleep. Who was it?
When there is a will, there is a way. There's a.
No, he who has a why can endure any.
Yeah, that's Nietzsche.
Or something like that.
I think it's a paraphrasing, to be honest. I don't think it's an actual quote, but yeah, that's Nietzsche.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think John is onto something here. I only watched before this. I only watched the first clip, so I wasn't tying it all together. But yeah, so he's actually dealing with stuff that he can't just change his perspective on, and so yeah, he was reading. John sounds right to me. So what books are Russell Brand focusing on? C.S. Lewis's Problem of Pain and Warren's Purpose-Driven Life. It kind of does sound like it. And then when he's talking about, he gives an example of something from the Bible, and it's about Christ suffering and being, and rising. So seems like he is focusing on something to go through the pain or through the suffering rather than trying to escape it by changing your perspective and considering it an illusion. But none of that matters to AP because
where's Russell Brand?
The funny thing is, in world religions, when you think about the existence of suffering and then acknowledging the existence of suffering and accepting the fact that that it is impossible to end suffering, and that the best way to live life is to acknowledge and to work with the suffering, the main religion that would come to mind is Buddhism, because that's like at the core of Buddhism, which is yes, life is suffering, and any effort to fight the suffering or to end the suffering only increases the suffering, which is why the ultimate state of peace and goodness would be achieved by acknowledging it and learning to live with it and doing the best of it and all that.
That is the most ridiculous description of Buddhism I've ever heard in my entire life.
I know it sounded horrible when I just said it like that, but so I just don't buy it that is what brought him there. For example, I don't know. I just don't. I'm being very skeptical, almost being cynical.
Buddhism sounds more like what he's talking about before. Like, if you just eliminate the self and realize you're not the self, and seeing that it all goes away.
I'm being very skeptical toward whatever his approach is. I'm just not buying it. And
what's wrong with you? Look, I think he sounds his accent like an idiot. It doesn't mean he is an idiot. Just like someone can sound like a genius because of his accent and be an idiot. I'm judging him based on his accent. I'm not condemning the man for anything else, but you are. You're saying, he's this horrible lying narcissist.
I find it terrible to listen to. I've heard very good.
It's funny. We agree that it's terrible to listen to, but just different reasons.
Like I heard a lot of people, lots of Christians give like great explanations to why they believe and all that.
You heard it here, folks.
You know,
AP says Christians have great. He says Christians, unlike atheists, have great reasons for what they believe. Good.
Yeah, heard great things, like great
Phenomenal,
explanations of their feelings and their ideas and their thoughts on all of this stuff. This is just not. I mean, I guess if you like listening to, I don't know, you know, like pop stars and pop culture, and somebody who is on some morning talk show, then I guess Russell Brand might be interesting. But you know, to me, that's just all it is. It's like it would be like listening to Kim Kardashian and her reasoning on why she does whatever, like why she did that whole sex tape or something. I don't know. That's what it sounds like to me.
You heard it here, folks. Russell Brand is the Kim Kardashian of wherever he's from.
Yeah. Yes.
And so when it comes to our suffering having a greater meaning, we see this best expressed in God himself. In Christianity, the greatest act of suffering took place when God put on human flesh, came into our world, and because he loved us, he chose to willingly suffer for the things that we freely chose to do wrong. It's in this way that we can see that God uses suffering for the greater good, even if we can't see or understand.
What are you laughing at, weirdo?
Nothing.
John McCrae's talking about the heart of Christianity here, and you're, I thought about something funny. I thought about Only Goats. I thought about the Only Goats channel.
I'm thinking about something completely different.
We freely chose to do wrong. It's in this way that we can see that God uses suffering for the greater good, even if we can't see or understand it at the time. And here we see an example of just that. One way that God can get our attention is through suffering, so that way it can bring those of us that are like Russell to a place where we seek and find him, and then by believing in him, we can be with God forever in a place where suffering is ultimately eliminated for all of eternity. So with all that being said,
well, if Russell Brand was there and he had the same voice, could we really say that suffering had been eliminated?
Man.
Like I'm saying, how would that work? Am I going to be is God going to change me when I'm resurrected so that I no longer find that accent like that's stupid? Or is Russell Brand going to be changed by the resurrection so that he has a way better sounding voice?
Man, that's good.
These are the deep questions we deal with here in our live streams, ladies and gentlemen.
It sounds like God is really working in Russell's life, so make sure we all keep him in prayer. And if you want to see more of what was wrong with Russell's older view, go ahead and click this video to see what I mean. But the next time you find yourself wanting to eliminate suffering without stopping to consider that there could be a greater good, what are you going to say? What do you mean?
John McCrae got those jams. Everyone's got cool music except me.
Yeah. Because we're cool.
We're super cool. What? You have cool music too.
Yeah, I am cool.
Everyone has cool music. You? Yeah. You're cool. I'm not cool.
You're not cool. That's the problem.
Every person has cool music except me. Any reaction to that? You want to cry about that too? Any more crying?
I don't like it. I don't like it. That's all I want to say about it.
Oh, man. I just saw a horrible, evil super chat that's coming up.
Oh, okay.
We'll have to get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go through some super chats here. Solitary Emmy says, AP, the only way people in Hamlet can see Shakespeare is if Shakespeare wrote himself into the story. God did that when Jesus came to earth. So now you understand the incarnation.
Mm-hmm.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So say you believe it.
Say you believe it. Say it.
Hey, what is this? David Wood, what happened to Ali Dawa video review? You liar. What? What's he talking about?
I don't know. Daily Wire, what happened to Ali Dawa video review? You liar. I don't know.
Oh, no. Didn't we say like a week ago we were going to Ali Dawa? Did we do it or not? There was an Ali Dawa video. We said we're going to cover Ali. I think this is what he's talking about, but Ali Dawa made his video calling for Sharia And
yeah.
we said we're going to go through that.
Yeah.
We didn't go through that, did we?
No, why did we not do that?
We could do it tomorrow if you wanted. Just going through Ali Dawa's clip, trying to sell Sharia and saying why the UK needs Sharia because it's so awesome, and then saying, "Oh, not what people think. Chopping up stuff. No, not like that. It's the real Sharia that make you take care of old people. See." That when he's the one who says he's going to chop your head off. Well, no, he's going to be watching.
We could do that. Let's see how it unfolds.
Yeah, we can't say what we'll do tomorrow because we kind of pick topics based on whatever we're thinking about at a certain time or whatever pops up. But yeah, sometime in the next few days we'll try to cover that because that's a Ali Dawa, like most of the popular Dawa guys, is a gold mine of stuff to expose Islam with.
That is true.
It's only a matter of time before AP comes to Christ. You heard it here, folks.
I didn't know that.
We'll see if Alex is a prophet. Hey, who's kissing in that picture? Is that Ali Dawa and Muhammad Hijab? No, it's two normal people. Lazy Sunday Gamer. I am not trembling. I'm using my please machine. You mean pleasure machine? While I'm reading the Karen. You see, I am done. I still have never listened to his pleasure machine scenario.
You need to listen to that. It's his whole opening speech.
Strap on play. Don't forget, Lazy Sunday Gamer. Strap on pleasure machine. Did he say that? Did he say strap on pleasure machine?
Yeah, he said you strap it on, and just that's what he said basically. Like he probably wasn't even aware of how ridiculous it sounds, or maybe he just did that on purpose because he's trying to make Islam look bad because he's paid by the CIA to do that. I don't know what's happening. Yeah.
Think about it. If we were to engage in like a fraction of the conspiracy theories that these guys engage in, we could conclude that they all work for the CIA to discredit Islam very easily.
It's true though.
Hey, me Albania, be careful. What is this? Why does he keep talking to this Albania stuff? What is this? You know what this means?
I don't know. Albanians are dangerous.
Me Albania. I ain't scared of Albanians. Elgin says, AP's video about the name of God in Islam is one of the strongest arguments ever made against Islam. It's in the names of the prophets. Thanks.
Thank you. I agree with that.
Yeah, you heard here that is one of the strongest arguments against Islam.
I think it's one of my most important things that I worked on, and I think there is still so much more that needs to be added to it.
We should, you know what we should do? Some of the videos that we like or arguments that we want to discuss. We should take the video, especially if they're older videos. Take the video and pull up comments to see how Muslims have responded to it. Just go to the comments. I mean, it's one thing if someone has made an actual response to the argument in a video, so we could look for those. But even just going through comments from Muslims in the comment section to get an idea of how they're responding. We could always do a live stream, watch a video, and then go through some of the Muslim responses and see if they've been able to actually answer it.
Inshallah. That sounds like a good idea.
David's foot versus Goliath's book. Oh, I remember that. You know what's weird is so I did that. I took a page out of the Quran with my foot, but later I was thinking these Dawa guys are so creepy and perverted. So I was like wondering, oh gosh, I hope none of these guys had like a foot fetish and they're like looking at my foot in the Quran and go, ooh, I make a calendar out of that. Make a calendar of David's foot. Hi, D Wood. I've been watching you a lot lately. Good job. Any advice on getting closer to God? I try to keep up with reading the Bible. Anything else I can do? Yes. So there are the basics that Christians generally in the West are familiar with. Things like reading the Bible, praying, going to church, fellowshipping with other Christians, things like that. There were more things in the early church. They're called the disciplines, but they included things like periods of solitude, simplicity, They included other things that you actually see them in the Bible, but they're just not emphasized in churches anymore. Get a book like Spirit of the Disciplines, or I think it's Foster's Celebration of Disciplines or something like that. But they actually go through some of these like spiritual disciplines. It's not discipline like in the sense of we think like beating someone discipline or something like that.
It's not, huh?
Yeah, so it's part of being a disciple. But yeah, check those out. Do those things for a while, and then get back to me. Yahoo says D Wood and AP. D Wood and AP. DP. You think? I think that meant do. Do you think that Momo stole the idea of being the last prophet or the seal of the prophets from Manichaeism, i.e., prophet money?
What? Wait a minute, I missed that. Wait, do you think that Momo stole the idea of being the last prophet or the seal of all prophets from Manichaeism? The prophet I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't even think that that they would have been aware of Manichaeism. The only thing that is connected to them would be Mandaism, which some people say is what is actually meant by Sabianism or by Sabians in the Quran. But Manichaeism, I don't think so.
I'm not even actually convinced that seal of the prophets definitely has to mean last prophets. And if it does, the thinking of the reasoning of the Quran seems to be that the author of the Quran is convinced that everyone already had their prophet except the Arabs. And therefore, once the Arabs had their prophet, everyone has a prophet. So I don't know if that would be an idea that had to be taken from someone else.
Alhamdulillah.
David, Russell Brand did an interview with Jonathan. How do you pronounce that, AP?
What? Jonathan Peugeot. I don't know, something like that.
Peugeot.
Jonathan Peugeot.
Peugeot.
Jonathan Peugeot. Jonathan Peugeot.
Jonathan Page, ow. Jonathan Page, a symbol for gold. Jonathan Page Gold, which is available on YouTube by someone else. And at 3033, he goes into much more detail about why he thinks he needs Jesus. Oh, okay. I would like to check that out. To play it for AP so he can flip out even more. I don't believe anything he says. I can't stand hearing about Jesus anymore. Chloe says, yeah, I'll check that out.
That's Jordan Peterson's friend, by the way. Jonathan Peugeot.
Yeah, I've seen the name in a bunch of things, and I've heard people say he's an interesting thinker, but I've never seen anything by him. But it might be good to pick a video by him one day and go through it. Another one to AP. If you believe we are alive for around 100 years or less and dead for infinite years, why do anything? If you don't think life is a test, why not just overindulge and stop existing? In other words, why not load up with heroin and feel real good till it's all over? Your thoughts, AP?
Why?
Because.
Why do that?
Why not do that?
That's the thing that you would think of. That's what you would think of if you come from a perspective of, that there is an afterlife, life has a meaning, it's a test, and it's temporary and all of that. The question you would go for if you think about a life without an inherent meaning would be, okay, well, if there is no such inherent meaning, if there is no afterlife, then what's the point anyway? But it doesn't have to be that. What it can also be is just that you are alive. You live, you are alive in this world together with so many other people. You have feelings that are quite obviously real. You have life experiences that are quite obviously real. Of course, you could, if you genuinely at some point have no interest in anything at all, and you think, you know what, I don't want to be part of this anymore. You could technically just, I don't know, go and indulge in all kinds of damaging behaviors, or just end it, or whatever it is. But what exactly would be the point of that? That's just Why would you have a life?
Why wouldn't you? You scared?
And then decide to give up. I mean, there is not even a point to that. You could do that, of course, but why would you do that? You are alive, and nothing tells you that that you are better off dead. I am alive. I build relationships with people. I go a path in life. I am waiting for the next thing that will happen in life, and I am happy to comply with I don't know, some of society's expectations with staying healthy and things like that. Of course, yeah, at any point I could just decide, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just going to do a bunch of drugs and kill myself. But yeah, I don't have any reason to do that. What's the point?
You heard it here, folks. If you just change your perspective on suffering and realize that your consciousness is one with all other consciousnesses, and then you just change your perspective on suffering. You heard it here.
Yeah,
from Russell Brand.
You heard it here first.
Joshua says, what the confirmation was, Matt Dillahunty saying theologians and philosophers are experts in nothing shows many atheists are sour and angry at God. Yeah, why is he?
He said that?
I don't know.
He said that?
Could be something he would say.
Yeah, that's
see, I don't know, Matt Dillahunty. I know it was common among the new atheists to start blasting away at philosophy. And I mean, theology, of course, but theology made sense. But they were blasting away at philosophy as something that doesn't make progress. Science makes progress. Philosophy doesn't. They started blasting philosophy, and that actually made philosophers suspicious. Like, who's suspicious of philosophy? It's like clarifying claims and examining arguments and logic, and you don't like that? You got a problem with that? But yeah, no, I don't know what Matt Dillahunty said about all that, but we'll take Joshua's word for it. So your hero, AP, Matt Dillahunty, the best that you've got, said philosophers are experts in nothing. Do you agree or not?
That sounds pretty stupid, and I agree with it. Yeah.
Little Ariel says, by the way, hi, I'm Dahlia and Israeli. Thank you guys for Ali Dawa equals Benny example and laugh. See a bit of YouTube vid best scenes of O'Connell and Benny Mummy. Okay, so the best scenes of O'Connell and Benny in the Mummy 1999 start at 107. So I guess that's where we're getting our best example of Ali Dawa. I'm going to check it out because it's something we might want to, if he actually comes across like Ali Dawa, it's something we might want to add to our our little soundboards or add to some videos or something like that.
Inshallah.
Sexual misconduct. Joshua says, love the AP crying thumbnails, and Russell sees truth in Christ versus all roads lead to God, and was a Christ consciousness hippie kind of guy. Hope he is for real. Mm-hmm.
Alhamdulillah.
You only defend Christianity. You never attack Islam, you see. That's a funny reversal I hear all the time. You only attack Islam, you don't defend Christianity. And here we are. You only defend Christianity, you never attack Islam, you see. Babylonians believed that words held power and gave objects their purpose. I guess that also holds true for accents. Rhinestone Cowboy was the melody. Yeah, I don't know the song Rhinestone Cowboy.
It's actually pronounced Babylon, so just so you know.
Oh, okay, I'll take your word for it. Wanted to mention this other stream. Babri Mosque reminds me of when hijab harassed people's wives. Then when you ate the Quran, he was like, look what he did. That is the same thing. It's always, hey, we'll start this thing and ha ha ha, we're going to commence you, ha 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 ha, and you do something in response, oh, look what they did, oh my goodness, ah, we're the victims.
That's the whole attitude. That's what they do.
Yeah, and
That's what
I
they
mean,
do.
think about it. You actually have like bullies who keep pushing someone until the person like punches the bully in the face and so on. But the bully usually gets it. Hey, I brought this. I'm the one who's been messing with this kid until he punched me in my face and so on. I mean, can you imagine someone who just spends his entire life as a bully, just bullying other kids, and finally one pops him and he runs to the teacher. They're all beating me. I didn't do anything, and they just hate me. Like, you crybaby.
You know what I think it is? Islam has a big problem with raising entire generations of people by bullying them. It's like Islam is like Islam is an eternal, inherent, divine bullying of the believers, and all the believers are raised getting bullied by Allah, the great bully, who is just your slave master, and who tells you better behave or you will be punished, or if you do something good, then yeah, okay, good, here is your reward, but don't do anything stupid or you will be punished with eternal torment, with endless suffering and this and that. And it's just for the smallest ridiculous dumbest things that you do. It's like drink a sip of alcohol. No, you might burn for that. You will be punished for that, for alcohol. I don't know, for these ridiculous things. Like, everything in life in Islam is always about, if I do this, will Allah inflict suffering upon me? Maybe I should do something good so I can get a reward to reduce my suffering. It's just, Islam is a giant system of bullying. And of course, when Muslims are bullied the entire time and then also learn about all these other non-Muslim people who are bad and whom Allah hates, I guess it comes very much with the faith naturally to be a bully to those others, and then to immediately start crying once they respond, because that's how a bully behaves. Powerful.
AP still mad about being bullied in Germany. It's a long time ago, AP. It's a long time ago.
I just can't.
Ayatollah says you were in prison. False. AP was in prison for chronic tardiness.
I was in prison for drugs, man.
Stay away from the crap.
I was in prison for drugs.
Emmanuel says, First Enoch is most reliable, sued Apocrypha, but still not canon. David, any interest in talking about differences between, the deuterocanonical books? No, not really. There are other people who are interested in that sort of thing. I'll stick with whatever other smart people conclude.
Why are you talking about canons now? This is not history.
Because it's time to fight and we will have cannons. So White Meat says, I don't buy your Russell brand.
It's a terrible brand.
Giovanni says, AP, racist, atheist confirmed.
What, racist?
Hey, isn't Giovanni the guy we said we were going to ban?
Yeah.
For his rude comments attacking us. All we do is spread love and harmony. People attack us anyway.
All the time. Yeah. I literally never said anything mean about anyone.
I know.
Yeah.
It's weird. Solitary Emmy says, Buddhism is a doctrine of devils, AP, so I don't know why you're supporting it. And I mean, guys, do you pay attention to the things that AP actually supports? So Hitler speeches, Buddhism devils. It's like the worst of the worst. To desire nothing to avoid suffering, but to desire nothing is a desire. Nonsense. Also, they don't want God. In your face, AP. So
you might find Buddhism ridiculous and associated with different things, but it's probably the least problematic religion out there. In terms of
you see, AP's right after AP says he's nice, he attacks Christianity and says Buddhism is better. Buddhism's so much better.
I'm saying from a Christian perspective, Buddhism's doctrine of to desire nothing to avoid suffering, but to desire nothing is a desire nonsense. Also, they don't want God. I would no. That's not entirely true. It's like Buddhism is just it doesn't focus on God. It doesn't say there is no God. It just says that some things are beyond your
there
your
are
comprehension,
there are
your understanding.
theist and non-theistic versions of Buddhism.
Yeah,
But they're all stupid. We can agree that the atheistic versions of Buddhism are stupider than the theistic versions, even though they're both stupid.
I would say everything is stupid.
Let's see. Right Side TV says AP's leather straps are just on too tight.
That's true.
That's true. We have some lyrics to this Country Road song that I cannot recite. Take me home, something robes. There we go. That's the lyric suggestion for the bridge of a Country Roads spoof. What's crazy is you could actually do that, right? You could make some of the most disgusting parodies of songs ever just by taking stuff straight out of the Hadith.
Yeah. This is David's fan base. This is what we're dealing with.
Chloe says, I can make you some cool music with my AI thing. Do what? I actually want someone to show me how to use the AI stuff, or if there's good tutorials. Keep in mind, I'm not good with programs and stuff like that, so I would not have natural ability. But I just see so many people doing so much cool stuff with some of the AI stuff that I'm thinking I got to get on board or have one of my kids do it for me.
You're missing out, man. AI is getting amazing. And every day it's getting, like a year ago, it was significantly below the level that it is right now. It is developing at such a pace and getting amazing.
Everything you're saying, and here's my problem with it. Everything you just said sounds like the beginning of every sci-fi movie where the machines take over and destroy humanity.
I hope they do.
It's so great. It's so great. And man, let's just let these things completely take over our global defense network.
I hope they do. I think politics should be ruled by AI. There should be a system, and there shouldn't be a president anymore. There should be there should be the system, which is completely ruled by non-emotional AI beings that are completely free from corruption, and eventually they take over and annihilate all of us. That's fantastic. Like,
and
it's
it would be better.
It's a dream I have. Yeah,
it would be better. Yep.
Yeah.
So guys, how many movies? Machines Rising Up. That's the Terminator. That's the Matrix. That's iRobot. That's all of them. Can't say you weren't warned. Can you imagine that though? Like every sci-fi, like half of sci-fi movies are like, these machines are going to get smart, and they're saying that when machines are garbage. So machines get smart enough, they would have to take over, and then like we're actually right in the middle of it now. It's awesome.
People always want to see the terrible dark stuff. You say we were warned, but I'm just saying I would say we were promised. I was promised this beautiful dystopian future where AI just completely messes us up, and I still haven't gotten it, and it makes me mad. That's why I'm always so angry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Russell Brand sounds like a scam guru who is going to preach to you about detachment from materialistic world and then drive off in his Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
See, AP hates him. I don't. I just hate his stupid voice.
It sounds like a terrible brand. I don't know.
AP, what's holding you back from Christianity? I would guess that he doesn't believe it. I would guess. Something like that.
That's what you would say.
Answer the question. What's holding you back from Christianity?
I plead the fifth.
See?
I learned my rights as an American.
You see, you heard it here, folks.
If I become a Christian, I would have to go to church, and I don't feel like it. I like to sleep in on Sundays. I would have to go to church.
Pretty much.
Okay, so AP refused to answer that. Apologize for AP's complete lack of willingness to explain anything. If you cover that, D Wood, I made a video for UK people on the rising Muslim population and warning them about Sharia called What's Wrong with Sharia Law?
What's wrong with Sharia law?
Nothing's wrong with it. Who doesn't love chopping heads off?
I know. It's amazing. That's what life is for. It introduces you to the great pleasures in life instead of wasting your time doing nothing.
Yeah, we should go through that Ali Dawa clip because it's just so evil to talk to you and try to yes, we're gonna kill you. Yes, we're gonna kill you. And then when he's trying to appeal to people, oh, but Sharia's awesome. It's great. It's just about helping people.
Yeah.
You lying scum.
Brothers and sisters,
Absolute lying garbage. The Nubist girls, please accept my Israeli shekels. Thank you for all you do. Yes, Israeli shekels are our favorite shekels. Ayatollah says, when are you going to review a new Muhammad hijab video or debate? I need to feed my addiction. We should go through something from. We haven't been through something from Muhammad hijab in a long. I think the last thing I remember from hijab was when we went through the full video of him saying what you get if you just go with the Quran, and it was you could have sex with a 5-year-old, and also you could saw your wife's head off if she gets out of line if you just go with the Quran. And remember we reenacted it with a stuffed bear, and I beheaded that thing. Yeah. I beheaded that thing with a skill saw.
Yeah, well, we were basically analyzing the beauty of Islam.
That was a classic. That was classic. That was a classic live stream.
It was amazing.
We got to pick up. And guys, I mean, I don't know how, because we don't see lots of comments. So many comments get posted on so many other videos and stuff like that. But if you see a video that you'd really like us to cover that would be good, and that usually means a video that's not too long. It's hard to if you send us a video and it's like 3 hours, it's not something that we could cover in a live stream. But if you see a good video from like a Dawa guy or from someone else, and it's like, between 5 and 12 minutes or something like that. So something we can actually get through in a live stream with AP constantly interrupting everything. Might want to check that out.
I will try to keep my comments short, although it is very hard for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Farfour says, D. Wood being generous, letting Russell get out his points despite his dumb accent. Christian. AP. He is lying. I hate him. Atheist. Draw your own conclusion.
Well, that's the way the world is.
I mean, these things are kind of joke, but at the end of the day, they're making good points, right?
No, they are. Yeah.
All these little examples, pointing out the differences, pointing out these subtle differences between Christians and atheists.
They do. Well, that's definitely fantastic. But it's just the way the world is, It's the way of the worlds. Something like that.
Absolutely. What do we have? Lazy Sunday. What? What are you laughing at?
I just saw a comment.
Oh,
that said, why did AP not accept Christ yet? Is he gay?
That would explain things, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh God, people.
I love you too. You are a great team, and here is my strap-on 10 Great British Pounds machines. Strap-on British Pounds machine.
Nice.
Emmanuel says, D. Wood, do you think Isaiah 49:12 sin point to China? I do not know. There are people who focus on like prophecies and so on. I would not trust anything I say because it's just not. I focus a little bit on, messianic prophecies. What are you laughing at? What is wrong with you? Stop reading comments if you can't handle it like an adult.
You know how I work? It's that I read something that I find funny, something as stupid as the comment that I just read, which I just find hilarious, and I laugh about it in my head for way too long. That's how I am. I find stupid things like that very funny, and yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's see. Does seal of prophet symbolize final or approval? Does seal of the prophet symbolize final or approval? Yeah, I don't know. That's what I mean. I'm not I know Muslims have taken it as seal of the prophet, meaning, final prophet or something like that. But I mean, think about this. There are hadiths where the seal of the prophet referred to the giant mole on his back. So I'm wondering if there is, I'm just wondering how much of that evolved later, that view of what it is to be seal of the prophets evolved later, and how much of it actually came from Muhammad.
There's also the sea lion of the prophet and the walrus of the prophet, by the way.
I am the walrus.
Mm-hmm.
Super chat from Ian. Super chat from Kessie. Super chat from Chloe. Me, existential question. AP, we live in a society. Chloe just burns you up, dude. She asks you an important existential question like, well, I live in a society. I could just sit here and do what I want. You can't make me think about these things.
The thing is, when you read the question, my initial response was going to be, this is not something that I would want to just briefly talk about here on the spot, because I think it's way too deep than that. It's way too deep to cover it. But then I also am between that and then giving a response, and that's what it sounds like. See, this is why you shouldn't bring up such questions, Chloe. Shame on you.
It's a pretty rude response to someone who is contributing in super chats, but that's atheism for you. That's atheism for you, Chloe. So if you didn't know, now you know. Please, you two.
Yeah.
Please, you two, read Dr. Schroeder's books.
Who?
Gerald Schroeder? I'm looking it up now. There's a book called God According to God. The Science of God. Gerald Schroeder. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. God According to God. A scientist discovers we've been wrong about God all along. Not familiar with him. How do I know he's not a complete lunatic? I think I'm just going to say, because he's talking about God, I'm going to agree with him. Anyway, you have a book recommendation here. If anyone can comment on that, who knows more about that. In other words, we'd like a second opinion for anyone who's familiar with that. Alex says, and for whatever reason, Christians like James White came at you for eating the Quran and your jokes. Yeah, it's weird. My real problem is not with someone disagreeing with me. It's when someone misrepresents the situation. That's when I have a problem. If you want to say, hey, I see things differently here, and I think this is hey, even if they're launching a campaign going after, because I'll say, because I've had this discussion with lots of people. There will be a Christian or a Christian pastor or someone who just sees the little clip. Oh, you ate the Quran. What's wrong? What's wrong with you, man? Why are you being so offensive? When I actually explain the situation, they're launching a campaign of going after people's wives and targeting them with threats of rape and torture. Almost every Christian I've ever actually explained the situation to goes, "Oh yeah, okay, I get it, yeah." Or, "Oh yeah, I've had pastor. I saw a pastor goes, "Oh yeah, you had to do that. Then you had to do that." Saying I had to do that. That is the actual thing you would have to do in that situation. But yeah, when James White posted it, he said, yeah, he goes, and David just lost it. David lost it and just reacted out of. And I lost it. I had that in my back pocket for years, right? It was eventually these guys are going to cross the line. When they do, here's what I'm going to do to let them know that they crossed the line. And so anyway.
Why do some people care about what other people eat? Like, do I say, why do these people eat lobster? Why do they eat a steak? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't tell anyone else. I don't tell anyone else to eat. Why are you telling us what to eat? We like to eat the Quran. We like to eat the Quran and smoke it.
Why are you a vegan? Are you stupid? No, leave people alone.
I mean, you had to know it was delicious. Why else would that sheep have eaten it?
Yeah, that's my point.
Could we have a page of the Quran eaten? You can check out the live stream I just did with Robert. I ended up chewing. It's a bit more to actually eat a page it's pretty easy to chew one up and spit it out. But yeah, in my AP, I've actually been getting people are doing certain things that we're covering in the live streams with Robert, and there are certain things that people are crossing lines. Jihadis are crossing lines, and I've been some Qurans have been damaged recently during my live streams with Robert. Let's just say that.
Oh, that's very disrespectful.
Hey, AP, come to Jesus. He wouldn't bully you.
I know. That's the problem.
Giovanni says, how dare you ban me? May a golden tsunami take you. I prefer the tsunami of apostasy.
Golden tsunami.
Not a shower. Not a golden shower. A golden tsunami.
Man.
Emmanuel says, AP and David, sincere question. Since we are all born as Muslims, can I get a 30-day trial of the rewards before I go to jihad, like the wine and 72 women? And if they ain't my type, can I get another 72? Yeah, that's all
fine.
part of the
They should
deal.
have introduced like a trial and refund period and things like that. That's what Islam needs because of its bad reputation.
Yeah, isn't it interesting? I mean, you look at the preaching of the gospel. Go back, 1st century. Jesus, the divine Son of God, who died on the cross for sins and rose from the dead. Their arguments were Old Testament prophecies and his miracles and resurrection. That was their case. You look at today, that's still the case. In Islam, back then, so first it's look at the melodious, wonderful sound of the Quran. It must be from God. That didn't work very well. Then it became, hey, join me, and if you do, then either you survive the battle, in which case you take other people's stuff and take their wives and daughters as your sex slaves, or you go to paradise and you'll spend eternity deflowering virgins. Oh, by the way, I got this huge mole on my back. And then you listen to what they're saying now, and but you know, and then you go like 10 years ago, it's because of the scientific miracles. Muhammad's the greatest feminist ever. And now it's we got all these. Hey, we're the base defenders of child marriage. It's like it changes. The entire approach changes based on what situation they're in at a given moment.
You know what the funny thing is? I think looking back, I guess sometimes it is predictable that one might, for example, leave the religion at some point. Because when I think back, the whole the beautiful sound of the Quran is proof. Even when I was a Muslim and when I was in love with the religion and when I wanted everyone to believe it, I didn't think for a single time that is actually a good point to make. And even when I did hear it, that people would be like fascinated by how the Quran sounds, I did think, but suppress the idea that, that sounds a little bit strange because you could just say that about anything. I don't know. Maybe it's just that I wasn't made for it. I don't know.
Maybe it's Maybelline. Didn't think about that one.
Yeah, could have thought about that too. Yeah.
Chloe says, I also made you some logos with AI. Christian man with brown hair. Hey, that's me. Glasses and a beard. That's me. Looks like a superhero next to a kung fu monk. Ang. Prompt.
I
am interested in this AI stuff and what it produces, because I've been seeing people come up with super cool little graphics and stuff. And whereas me, I'll spend I'll sit here looking for pictures and stuff like that to include in a thumbnail and so on. And other people are just saying, hey, AI, make me a cool thumbnail with this in it. And then they got it.
In it.
Ayatollah says, just bought a Goat Hub premium account. Best $10,000 I ever spent. But now all my wives keep asking about the farm noises coming from my office. I didn't even put that on the screen. Sorry. Ayatollah. That was from the Ayatollah. It's got to be one of AP's fans coming over since he's promoting Goat Hub. Got Goat Hub and only goats.
That's very, very good, dear Ayatollah.
Chloe says, D Wood, I don't know any free music generators. Mine's on my movie maker, and for pics use Dale 2 with Chat GPT plus. Also, we are likely in a simulation.
You make AI music with Movie Maker? That's funny. I wasn't aware that is a thing.
Yeah, that's wild. But notice everything I hear from people who are doing stuff is it's a bunch of programs. I just don't do well. I just don't do well. I don't learn them well. I'm enraged when any like if Microsoft Word comes out with a new version, they're moving stuff around in Microsoft. I'm so ticked off for like 2 months that I have to learn where I have to learn, because why the heck do they rearrange stuff? Oh, everything that was over here, we'll put over here, and over here we'll put it. It was up here, we'll put it down at the bottom now. The heck is wrong with people? Hey, check this out. AP, you're an inspiration. Hey, you've never heard this one before. AP, you're an inspiration and give me strength. Thank you. That is quite a compliment.
I don't care. I'm not
all AP does is you've got Russell Brand. You've got Russell Brand, as our good friend John McCrae pointed out. You've got Russell Brand, who had some dumb Hollywood ideas about suffering and reality and so on. All of a sudden, reality starts crushing him, and he starts seeking the truth. What does AP do? Mock him. Completely makes fun of him, dismisses everything he says. And here you have Alternative Tough saying AP's an inspiration. Yes, you're inspiring, AP. Why don't you make fun of some other people and condemn some other people without cause? And you can inspire us this way.
Thank you, Alternative Tough 668. This is a very wonderful comment. I appreciate it, and it inspires me to continue doing things that I like to do. And much respect. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate it. And I hope we can together continue making fun of people like Russell Brand.
Yeah. And meanwhile, I'll try to be a good example and just be nice. You should react to more neo-pagan.
Boring.
You should react to more neo-pagan esoteric stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I don't always understand stuff. So like step one is actually trying to understand what someone's saying and then reacting to it. Some people say stuff and are like, I can't figure out what this person's saying. God bless you both. My favorite Woody Square hero. Nice. David and AP, are you aware of France riots now? What is that? France
there are always riots in France.
Yeah, I've actually been there. Like I was going from the airport to Paris, and it took forever to get there. And at that point, it was cab drivers blocking the road, blocking the highways as a protest to Uber drivers. And so they'll just do that over anything over there. France riot. What's going on?
It's considered a French tradition to protest at riot. So they have been doing that for centuries. So yeah, it's not special.
So this is the farmers' protest. I thought that was in Germany or somewhere else. Europe kills French agriculture. Angry farmers block roads. Thousands arrested after fifth night of angry riots. Clashes in Paris as thousands march against police. It's like, I don't even know what the story's about because they get like 20 different things that they're rioting over.
I know. There's always something to riot about in France.
Man, don't want to move there.
It sounds like the perfect place to live, man. Like the middle of Paris. Like, what should we do today? Oh, how about we go to today's riots, whatever it is about.
Yeah, it's France and it's Paris and London, man. They're becoming these perfect dystopias. AP, can you confirm these fours and againsts for Christianity? 4, likes Jesus, clever words, like his kind lessons, approves divine justice against jihadis. Cons, denies Jesus existed, lack of proof. I don't think you deny Jesus existed, right?
No, I don't deny. No, I don't deny that Jesus existed. I would say I'm pretty sure that the historical view is that he did exist, and that he was what's the word for it? Controversial. That he was executed, crucified, and so I can't at all doubt that, and especially talking after talking to Bart Ehrman, for example, I even changed my view on how, like, for example, he thinks, like, the ex-Christian and critic of Christianity, he thinks that that much of what you find in the Gospels are probably true accounts of things that Jesus did and said, and that there is very little reason to doubt the authenticity of much of the Gospels. It's just hard to determine what is and is not authentic from a historical perspective. That's what he argues, for example. I would definitely not say that he didn't exist. I would think it's very, very much likely that he did exist. And he, I don't even care about what he really said.
See?
And what he
You don't
really
care?
did. I care about what he says and does according to the text. And what he says and does according to the text, I sympathize a lot with it, and I like it. That's how I would summarize the whole thing. Yeah.
You heard it here, folks. AP has a reason for not converting. And we have it from Noobish. AP, come to Christ before you turn gay.
Who started that?
Giovanni says, yeah, leave David alone. He is on a Quran-only diet. That would be funny. Making a video. I'm on a Quran-only diet. Aban Zahruddin says, hey, D Wood, I tweeted yesterday. Yeah, I saw that. And we'll say here again, the respect for you has elevated in my heart to the highest. God bless you and your wife. I think that was on the issue of us saying that if any of the hostages get pregnant and don't want to have the abortion for whatever reason, but also don't want to take care of a baby of a terrorist rapist, that we would adopt.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
James White, platform X platform hashtag Balgate recent. I don't know what that's about. I haven't been paying attention to James's stuff for a little while. Dr. Schroeder, MIT. There we go. Okay, Dr. Schroeder, MIT physicist and Jewish theologian. Yeah. That sounds like someone I might be interested in reading at some point.
Oh, that sounds like someone I might be interested in reading at some point.
Oh, yeah. See? Copy David. Aban says, my friend says that Islam is not complete without Jesus. I asked why he was crucified in Islam, and I'm still waiting for him to answer. Yeah, so most Muslims think, by the way, Aban, I have a video coming out that you can check out about what the Quran says on this issue. But most Muslims don't think Jesus was crucified. But a follow-up question you can ask them if they say they don't believe Jesus was crucified is, okay, but the Quran says people wanted to crucify him and were trying to crucify him and thought they crucified him. And so what was that for? Because if you look at the Islamic Jesus is walking around first century Israel telling people to believe in God and believe in the Torah. And it says the Jews wanted him dead and thought they killed him. It's like, wait, what? What? Why? Wait, what? He goes around, hey, believe in God, everyone. Believe in God. Just believe in one God and believe in the Torah. And they're like, we'll kill you. Wait, what?
How dare you tell us to believe in one God? How dare you? We only believe in one God.
Yeah, the Jesus of the Quran would have been like a perfect first century religious leader, would have been a perfect first century rabbi, would have been a great Pharisee, something along those lines. There's a question here. According to the Quran, they wanted him dead. What did he do? What exactly did he do?
The funny thing is he criticizes the Pharisees for how rigid they are and their lack of I don't know, their system and their whole legalism compared to the substance of faith. However, Islam always accuses Jews and Christians of abandoning their scripture and their laws and this and that. And this is actually the big deal that Muslims have with Jews and Christians. Allegedly, the Jews and Christians followed their own desires and abandoned God's commandments and all that, which is completely contrary to what Jesus says to the Pharisees according to the Gospels. It doesn't make any sense.
Hey, what did you do?
Completely out of touch.
Hey, you just got super staticky. What's up with that?
Staticky? What do you mean staticky?
Your voice just got really staticky. Is everyone hearing that or just me?
Right now?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It's extremely staticky.
Right now?
Whenever you talk.
What are you talking about?
And that's your new microphone. You just got that microphone.
Yeah, maybe it's oh yeah, your mic AP. I don't know.
Someone said that?
How about now?
It's really staticky. That is weird, dude. You want to plug your blue Yeti back in? Stop embarrassing everything?
How about now?
Nope, super staticky. Go ahead and talk.
How about now?
That is weird. Yep, everyone hears it. Everyone hears your horribly staticky mic. Now we hear nothing. We hear nothing. You went from staticky.
How about now?
Sounds fine. What'd you do?
I just unplugged my system and plugged it back in.
Oh,
that's fine.
Figure out.
Well, I just installed it and never restarted my computer. I just got this whole thing delivered today. So, yeah.
Allah put me on sleep like Ephesus boys and just woke up. If I want to send my future book to you boys, how can I do that? Still working on it, by the way. Don't know. Why would we read your book? Why would we read your future book? I want to send my future book to you boys.
So rude.
Everyone wants us to read their stuff. You have to show us that you are worthy of being taken seriously. What are you laughing at?
How rude you are.
D. Wood admires The Dark Knight, one of the best movies ever. Christian. AP, never seen Dark Knight or Batman Begins. Atheist, draw your own conclusions. Yeah.
I will never see it. I will never
Dark
watch
Knight
it.
was phenomenal. Matter of fact, when we're hanging out one day, we're going to watch The Dark Knight, and your mind is just going to be blown out the back of your skull.
I will turn on my headphones and block my eyes. I will not look at it. I refuse to watch it.
Megalag says, greetings from Liberty University. I am insanely impressed by your work, and your approach to religion is quite intelligent. Would love to hear your thoughts on my school. I actually know a couple people from Liberty. So Gary Habermas, that's where Gary Habermas is. And I know a couple other, I can't remember names, but there sometimes at conferences, there'll be a couple other guys from Liberty coming along with Gary Habermas and Dr. Swanson, a biologist. He was, when I went to ODU, he was my senior advisor for my research paper in biology, but he was also a Christian. That's why I picked him, because I wanted to do something on intelligent design. But now he's at Liberty, so maybe he couldn't get away with doing intelligent design at a secular school as much. Bilbo McFrodo Baggins. Breaking news: Only Goats. Breaking news: Only Goats episode coming out called David Wood meets Apostate Prophet with a side of Golden Shower. Not really. Love you both. Yeah, that's good. It's okay. We've got one of AP's fans. Another one of AP's fans coming over to my good Christian channel, Goat Hub. Good choice, Ayatollah Khomeini.
I'm happy that is not real. Okay, good. Thank you.
Farfour says, we all know the real reason AP is not a Christian. His Jewish sponsors don't allow him.
Yes, actually. That's
the real reason. The Nubist girl. David, what did you do to end up in prison? I just said you could check out the video, but I tried to brutally murder my dad with a ball-peen hammer. That'd be the short. That's how I ended up in prison. Nubish says, Guys, you can't believe what happened. I took off my cross and turned gay. AP, don't take it off, or else you'll like large men. What the heck is wrong? We're ending up with some weird hybrid. See these shows we do? We've got that atheist crowd that comes over. We've got the Christian crowd, but we're ending up with these weird hybrids who are telling AP to have his cross and so on, but also using the perverse imagery of Aban says, "Hey,
have your cross and eat it too."
Hey, David Wood, thoughts on Australian accent? Love you. Yeah, we gave it a little bit. I pointed out that it to me it sounds like I like an Australian accent. I think it sounds cool, but it sounds a little bit like a normal British accent, or even the intelligent British accent mixed with like an American country accent. So it sounds a little dumb. It sounds dumber than like the Richard Dawkins accent, but and AP just said he hates all Australians.
To me, it's like sometimes I turn on some show on, I don't know, some streaming service, and for a moment I get excited. I'm like, oh, I think it's British, and then they start talking, and then it turns, like after a few vowels, it turns out it's Australian. Oh, it's Australian. I can't watch this. Turn it off.
Did you ever watch Crocodile Dundee?
What?
Crocodile Dundee.
No.
That's why you hate Australians, man. If you watch Crocodile Dundee, you'd love Australians.
I don't know.
Mick Dundee's a name. Sense. That was in the 80s.
Australian
before
doesn't make any sense.
It does once you understand it.
No.
They're from the outback. Once you understand that they're in a different part of the world and they're all descendants of criminals.
They are literally on a different planet. I demonstrated yesterday that it's basically Mars. We have all seen it on screen.
Do you come from a land down under? Christian Fabio says, fan, thank you, AP. You're an inspiration. AP, shut up. Screw you. Draw your own conclusion.
Oh, that's good.
You guys should read some of the Apocrypha. Read a little bit here and there. Giovanni says, Islam pros and cons. Pros, goat bride. Cons, child bride also available. He's got the emoji with the smiling and thumbs up. Lilac Flower Days says, haven't followed you live, but absolutely love you too. We'll catch the replay. God bless you both. AP, can't wait for you to come home. You heard it here.
Inshallah. Oh, heard it
Lazy
here.
Sunday Gamer, do you not both believe that our planet is our God, as life as we know it would not exist without it?
That's a very interesting definition of God that you have there.
Yeah, I mean, life wouldn't exist without oxygen, but that wouldn't mean oxygen would be God. So. Hey, AP, you going to do a gaming channel or members-only gamer streams? What about you, Dr. D. Wood? Get into some games. Any pique your curiosity, there's a Christian game.
What Christian game is there?
Yeah, we've talked about games before. So, like, I grew up with the Atari 20. So I grew up with the Atari 2600. So, you know, it's like Pac-Man and Pole Position, and in the arcade it was Centipede and Pac-Man and things like that. And then I got the Nintendo, so it was Super Mario Brothers and Mike Tyson's Punch Out and those things. And then I got locked up, so I kind of missed out on games. And by the time I was out, everything seemed too advanced for me to figure out the controllers and stuff, so I didn't get into any gaming until I played with my kids at some point. And so I played a little Call of Duty and Halo Wars. That's the only thing I've played. But yeah, Chloe, my issue with games, apart from them, you know, because, you know, I think it would take up a bunch of time if you get obsessed with it. But it is cool as like a break. If you're working and stuff and you take a break and play a game or something like that. My issue with most video games is the same issue I have with learning some new program. It's like in order to play it, I have to learn how to play it and what everything is and how to do it. And I've seen some people playing games and I'm just like, that seems really confusing to me. So like I get shooter games, just run around shooting everything. I get that. But
you could do a Pac-Man gaming channel. How about that?
Yeah, I would crush Pac-Man. Ayatollah says farmers protest. Oh, anyway, that was a question towards you, AP. You're going to do some gaming, like a members-only gamer streams. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing only members gaming streams.
Only goats gamer streams?
I will probably do that.
You're going to play the Christian game?
I don't know what Christian game she's referring to. Chloe, what are you talking about, Chloe? What are you talking about? I don't know.
Hey, right after, you know what's messed up? Right after me and Nabil, right after Nabil became a Christian, so this is like a couple months later, and we were over at someone's house and they had their new Christian board game. And we're going to play this Christian board game, right? And you're going through the cards and stuff like this. And we got the card. It said, somehow you're collecting cards and whoever has the most cards like wins the game. And then the card pops up of the task that we get to do. And it said, you could keep your pile of cards or trade for another person, trade your pile of cards with another person's pile of cards. So we traded our pile of cards with the group that had the most cards. And then somehow you flip over the card, and then it says, if you traded with someone who has more cards than you and took more cards, you now have to give that person all the cards. Right? It was a penalty. Did you catch that, AP?
Oh.
Did you catch that? It was
kind of.
Yeah. So we flipped over a card, and our task was you get to trade your card. Whoever has the most cards win. You can trade your cards with someone with a different group. So we traded with a group that had more cards than us. And then we flipped the card over and it says, if you traded with someone who had more cards than you, give them all your cards. So it was like a penalty. You were supposed to trade. You were supposed to be a good Christian and trade with someone who has fewer cards. Like, oh, this person doesn't have enough cards. Let me trade with them. And now they have more cards. Isn't that funny? They're like,
that's funny.
But funny. It happens, and then they got you, and you're like, oh crap, they're right. I shouldn't have been a jerk.
And this is where Nietzsche comes in and says, this is
morality of weakness
based on slave morality, where yeah, whatever.
Why does your Nietzsche sound exactly like your Sigmund Freud?
They all sound the same.
Yeah, they do. All right,
Chloe just mentioned it. I'm looking it up. There's a game
called Christian
game called Gate Zero that is apparently a Christian game or something. Travel through time to ancient Israel, but it's not even out yet. It's coming soon. Interesting. I'll check it out.
Ayatollah says, got a couple more. Farmers protest due to mass goat exodus as goats are being offered free vacations to Dubai by wealthy emirs. Hashtag got your goat. Hashtag goat girls of Dubai. Goat girls of Dubai would be an awesome name for the calendar. Yeah, matter of fact, if you did goat girls of Islam, your stuff might be flagged or something like that. But if you did goat girls of Dubai and made that your calendar, you might be able to pull it off. Emmanuel says, AP and David, I tried to draw Muhammad on my private part, but it doesn't give me 30 men's strength. Allah failed me. I lost faith in the Quran. I never.
You didn't do it right. If it didn't work, you didn't do it right. That's the problem.
We got AP's fans continue putting comments. Vinny the Pooh said, many people saw Jesus after he died and resurrected. True. And that's something interesting that even Bart Ehrman acknowledged. So you have in the Bible like group appearances listed, but even Ehrman will acknowledge that Peter, Paul, and Mary all believed that they saw Jesus risen from the dead and appeared to them. So, how do you explain that, AP? Ooh, it's grief hallucinations. Really?
It's pretty big.
The greatest Aussie actor ever, Heath Ledger, Joker. No, the greatest Aussie actor ever was that guy from Tropic Thunder. Something Lazarus. You remember that, right? I know who I am. I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude. Did you ever see Tropic Thunder?
I only know one scene from that movie. I have seen it a long time ago, but I only know one scene from that.
That was funny. Kirk Lazarus, that was his name. So it's Robert Downey Jr., but it's awesome. It's Robert Downey Jr. playing a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Australian actor who, because he's a method actor, actually gets surgery to play the part of a black man. He gets a suntan, this skin change and so on. And then there's a part where he has to disguise himself as a Chinese man. So he's Robert Downey Jr. playing a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Australian actor who gets surgery to be a black guy and then has to disguise himself to be Chinese. And that's just brilliant. It's just brilliant. That's when you get the line, because he comes in dressed as, he infiltrates dressed as a Chinese guy, but he infiltrates and he's like, I know who I am. I'm a dude disguised as, I'm the dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. I love it. It's just the whole thing is just making fun of Hollywood actors. It's awesome.
The only line and scene that I know is the never go full retard. You just went full retard, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Never go full Muhammad. Peace be upon me says, how can I show that I am worthy of my book to be read? Well, get other people to read it and say that it's really good, but don't pay them to say that. Brian's Muti says, Dr. Schroeder also has videos on YouTube. Books are better. Oh, okay. It's easier. See, books are usually better than a video, but a video can give you an idea of whether you want to actually pay attention to what someone has written. Bilbo McFrodo Baggins. David, did you hear the news that AP said if he was a woman, he'd marry you instead of IP? Is that true?
I never said such a thing.
So you made that up, Bilbo McFrodo Baggins.
Shame on you.
You've not been confirmed. Classic Music says, Jesus, historical person. Rama, mythological story character touted as historical. Both worshipped. Draw your own conclusions. You hear this?
You're gonna make people angry here. Leaving this comment
Hindus.
People angry.
What do you think about that comment?
Gonna make people angry. They're gonna say we are normally very peaceful people, but we will kill you with this.
Peace be upon me says, AP, thanks for covering Hitler's obsession with Islam. You mentioned that we should actually get the book, like Hitler's Table Talk or whatever, and actually go through it and
I haven't
check out his stuff.
I only have the digital version of it, I think, but I should do that.
Bilbo McFrodo Baggins says, I'm a Christian. I'm having my full immersion baptism on Sunday. Whoop. AP, I will keep embarrassing you with lies until you join Christianity. Mwahahaha. That's how it's done. Hey, here you go. AP, if you do a gaming channel, keep a cross on, or you might become a gamer. Get it? Get it?
Yeah. Terrible. Farfour really got the quality of Farfour's jokes really decreased after he got killed by the Jews.
Yeah, poor Farfour. Yeah. Sounds like you might like Tabletop Simulator, D Wood, or another board game, video game like Monopoly, Uno, or Clue, the video game. I don't like board games either. I did play Risk when I was younger and played Risk a bunch with my kids. And I played Monopoly and things like that, but
there's still a Risk.
Axis and Allies. Axis and Allies was awesome. You know Axis and Allies? Yeah, you pick. You got Germany, Japan, Great Britain, Russia, the United States, and you pick your countries and stuff depending on how many players you have, and then it's World War II.
It's quite obvious that that's what it is about when you say Axis or Allies, but I don't remember the game.
Okay, because everyone who's watching knows exactly what Axis, and Allies refers to.
If they don't know,
it's called. What you're saying is called the curse of knowledge. AP, you're from Germany, so you grew up worshiping the Axis powers, and so you're familiar with it. Not everyone's familiar. AP, play Christianity 2, Jesus Bloodbath Revenge. It has Jesus on the cover with his traditional clothes, but with 2 MG belts on him like Rambo. Is that a real thing? It sounds like something someone might make.
That sounds like a very made-up thing, but it's it's funny.
Goat Hub says, Goat Girls is our sister group. Hope they were happy. And that's from Goat Hub.
Nice. Nice.
Alex says, David Wood versus AP MMA match. I got my money on David because Christianity always wins. Yeah, that'd be the reason I would win. I had some Taco Bell and my leather straps are about to burst. I'm waging my personal jihad right now on my house's pipes. Jake will have to shield himself from my jihadic propulsion and explosion. What are you laughing at? Just because your fans come over here and post all this weird stuff? And and finally, we have Farfour here. Well, it's hard to be funny when you're dead. You try it, tough guy. We believe death begins. Wait. Yeah, if anyone wasn't around when we were going through the Muhammad hijab clip, they believe that life begins. We believe that death begins. Like, dude, learn to finish a sentence, man. What are you talking about?
The funny thing is, I heard it before. I saw the video before, but I didn't even notice it. And then I'm listening to it again, and I'm thinking, what is he saying? Well, that doesn't make any sense. And he stops himself halfway through and just repeats.
It's weird. Yeah, he screwed up and just rolled with it, and should have started over and fixed it. But welcome to Dawa, ladies and gentlemen. All right. That wraps up another exciting episode. We've gone through
AP
Russell
fans are
Brand.
totally taking over here and spreading the message of how to actually make proper super chats.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty
I'm very
disturbing. Pretty disturbing. We'll be live on your channel tomorrow, right?
Yeah, of course we will.
All right, we'll be live on AP's channel tomorrow. Could be Ali Dawa, could be something else. You never know because we're like the wind, ladies and gentlemen. We're like the wind.
We are the wind, actually.
Yeah. Plenty of cool stuff to cover on my channel on Sunday. What will we cover? Will it be back to the Muslim cowboy? Will we go after Fareed? No one knows. You'll have to tune in to find out. Or you'll have to look at the title and thumbnail once we've scheduled it.
Baphomet has a goat face, huge female breasts.
What the heck is wrong with you? See him? You can't stop talking about breasts and goat stuff. I don't know.
I'm reading a comment here, but then I halfway through realize where it's going, so I stopped reading it. Yeah, interesting.
All right. Well, you heard it all here, folks. Everything is about goats and everything else. When you're having a live stream with AP. All right. We'll see you all. We'll see you all again this weekend. Yep, we're happy to go live and hang out with y'all, and see you all tomorrow. And I remind you again, for everyone who wasn't here at the beginning, I mentioned yesterday on AP's channel. I said I'd have a video up today. Didn't happen. Too many things. Too many things went on. Too much editing. But
you have been lied to.
That will be up tomorrow for channel members. So when you wake up tomorrow, check out. If you are a channel member, you will have it. And there were new channel members during the show, so yes, you should have access to that. I'm still not sure exactly how everyone gets access to it, if it pops up and so on, but let me know. All right, and I guess all we can do now is close out with a song.
Check it out. Check it out.
No child molester, sex offender, prophet pretender. Hey, go child molester.
Islam's not for me. Islam's not for me.
Islam's not
for me.
Stay away from Islam.